Hello! Hello, hello, and welcome. Hi. Hi.
Howdy.
Hello and
it's
welcome.
just me and you, John.
It's just the two of us, and
Just ignore the voices.
these
and put all
voices
your answers
down
into
here.
the comments.
Do not put your answers into the comments. Do not put your answers into the chat. Hello and welcome to the final boss fight quiz night. My name is John, and I will be your quizmaster, and this is Ben, who I will be torturing.
Yes, exactly right.
And we are also joined by Rogue.
I declare myself the Secretary of the Interior, and therefore I'm exempt from totalitarian questioning.
And by Angel.
I'm an angel, so I'm a construct of the mind, so I can't be subject to totalitarianism.
We'll get back to that later.
We'll unpick that one. And by Angel Mama.
Hello, people, and I'm nothing to do with the rest of these people.
She's
Which-
just here for the food.
Which really, if Angel's actually an angel, what's that make the angel mum? Like,
That would make me another angel, basically, because I would presume. Oh, what were the ones that came down? The Seraphim and the Nephilim.
the Seraphim are the sort of the big ones that came down, and the Nephilim
Yeah,
are
you
the
got
others.
The angels that came down and
I
bonked
see.
the human females.
I say, yeah, Nephilim is like a very niche term in actual Judeo-Christian theology, because you got cherubim, which are the pretty angels, seraphim, which I think are higher angels.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
There are other ims and bims and whatevers, but most of them are terrifying, and you don't want to look at them because that's why they say "be not afraid" in the Bible.
I was going to say, which ones are the eye wheels?
Definitely seraphim.
Seraphim.
Yeah, they say be not afraid as they beam lasers and sun
Blind you.
I mean, when
It's
yeah.
a case of, when they come down, they are beholders.
The flaming eye wheel descends and just yells at you, "Don't be scared of me!"
Yeah.
Oh,
My favourite point is the
Stan-
concept that
Stan-
at least one of these angels has to wield a flaming sword.
Stanza
Stan-
suggests that if angels are the construct of the mind, then maybe Angel Mama is just the mind.
Oh,
In which case, you have to win this one because you are mentality in itself.
Does that mean I equal 42?
Oh.
No, that's the universe and everything.
No, wait, no. I is the square root of -1.
Well,
let-
that's
I'm just struggling with an ID 10
And with that, we'll go to bed.
T error. Yeah, an ID 10T error, I think.
yeah. That's yep, registering one of those.
What, we don't do imaginary numbers in this shop?
Hey, Reebles,
Can
and
any
hey,
number
Sir
really be
Droobles.
imaginary?
Thank you for coming along and supporting us. Even if you're having your arm severely twisted behind your back, we still love that you are here, nonetheless. Reebles, if
As
you could just,
stated.
slightly release his arm a little bit.
So he can sub.
Yeah.
And then tighten back up. We run a tight totalitarian quiz ship here.
We run with an iron fist.
As
which
per
is
usual.
carefully placed at the-
I have a set of... Oh, apparently never. A set of fiendishly difficult questions. I have 4 topics, as I do every month, and I have 10 questions in each of those topics. What we will do is we will go through, I will ask these questions, these guys will write their answers down. If you want to play along at home, feel free to write your answers down as well, if you've got arms free that aren't being twisted behind your back.
Put them in the comments. Let us know the answers.
Do not share your answers in the comments until we have gone through the answers. Do not type them into the chat. Do not share them. Do not give these people any assistance.
Exactly. John is absolutely right. They should not go in the comments. You just direct message them to me directly through the Discord of Final Boss Fight. Try to go against that one, John. You want the people coming to the Discord.
Yes, but they can't private message you from the Discord.
King.
He's getting
I
more
am the
dangerous every
question.
week, every month.
I can see all that is in the Discord, Ben. I see all that is in the Discord.
Are we really? This quiz really is. This quiz really is leaning into like 1984 more and more.
No,
He does have the
Drew.
camera
Yes, you
on,
can,
so
Drew. You can. I might
I mean-
ignore them, but you can.
I mean, you guys think the quiz is the totalitarian regime. It's final boss fight. I'm, what I say goes. I'm in charge.
Yeah, he
It's
says
like-
that. But he let
Plus-
me spend half an hour mocking him for making a PowerPoint in public. Honestly.
I'm really, if we're going with Discworld characters, which some of you might know about, I'm the patrician of Ankh-Morpork.
Ooh.
Okay. We're going there, are we?
Yes.
Wait. You don't look like Charles Dance.
Not yet. I have not achieved my final form. Anyway, let's get on with some quizzing, shall we? I have 4 rounds of quizzes for you, so that you know what's coming up. Round 1 is on ancient Egypt. Round 2 is the human world. Round 3 is Disney films. And round 4 is Shakespeare quotes.
That's the only one I'm not confident.
General stupidity.
Because they were never general. It was John General, so nobody actually knew the answer.
Because you complained about general stupidity.
Yeah, well, if it was general stupidity, it would have been fine. It wasn't general. It's like general knowledge is supposed to be things that people know, like
Generally.
Yeah, exactly.
And when I
You know,
looked up general knowledge quizzes and wrote them out, you complained that, oh, we don't know that. So I've stopped doing that. And now I'm getting complained at that I'm not doing that anymore.
what was
Yes.
that one about the eye doctor? You remember that one? It was like a term for an eye, something that was done to your eye. It's like, dude, how many people know that except the doctor and in the medical book he read it in?
Those who read the general
anyway.
knowledge books.
Yeah.
Ben,
Uh-huh.
what would you like your quiz team name to be this month? We're going to take down your amazing score of 40.5 from last time. And
Yeah, no, the fact that didn't win and really gets yeah. It was so close. So close.
And then so depressed because he couldn't pick the top
Yeah,
one.
I know. I want to lose this week because I want to pick the doohickey.
You want to lose this week so you can pick the next one.
so, what would you like to be quiz name, Ben?
The grand and most powerful quiz giver of the pharaohs.
Quiz giver.
Do you have an acronym for that, Ben?
The GAMPQGP.
There you go.
I suppose that's close enough.
Rogue.
I mean, after that, let's
Come
go with
on, go
no.
for another acronym. Come on.
No, let's just go with no mark.
No, they're going to give you a mark one way or another. You can't get away from that.
No, that's not how it's spelled, but I'll take it.
Angel. Are we just going with Angel Feather?
Yeah,
And
I have some creativity.
Angel Mama.
It's a short name that is really a question. It's called "Do I Contain Knowledge?" otherwise known as the DICK.
How you gonna do that one, John?
Luckily, with having given Ben the short name, I can give you the long name.
Dang
Just so you can
it.
stay on, just so you can stay online. You're so boring.
Yes, just so that we can keep within Twitch terms of service, Keep doing this thing that we all like doing.
Genuinely, Angel,
I have another name if that's too dangerous, and it was Nefertiti.
We'll stick with Do I Contain Knowledge.
Angel, I'm surprised you didn't go for Be Not Afraid.
because at the end of the pub quiz, that question will be answered.
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
So, let's eyes down and looking. We've got our first question, which is, Ancient Egypt was responsible for the earliest known peace treaty, which was between Egypt and which group of people?
I spelled it wrong.
I have fun factoids about this treaty.
I have fun factoids about this treaty as well.
Oh yeah, we can factoid off.
I wonder if your fun factoids are my fun factoids.
Almost certainly.
Ancient Egypt was responsible for the earliest known peace treaty, which was between Egypt and which other group of people?
The non-Egypt?
The Mormons.
Those other guys.
Wrong continent for the Mormons.
I don't know. They tried to spread across the world.
They just wanted them to stop showing up at their door in the middle of the day on a Saturday.
Oh, is that the case? In which case, sorry, it's the Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oh, no, I've got that bloody first song from the Book of Mormon in my head now. Thank you for that.
Hello.
That's okay.
Hello, my name is Elder Price.
And I would here to do you without a berry.
And that's 8 seconds, and we stop.
Let's see if we
No,
can
we just
get.
change the language in time.
Trying to drink tea here, Ben. Don't make me spit.
Let's see if we can get that song out of your head with question 2. Question 2. What is the name of the funerary figurine placed in tombs to serve as servants for the deceased in the afterlife?
Oh, this is niche. Shit, I don't think to look at this one.
What is the name of the funerary figurines placed in tombs to serve as servants for the deceased in the afterlife? Yes, Sir Dribbles, it was Action Man's. Stop putting your answers in the chat.
I'm just trying to think back now. Why can't my memory of the mummy tell me all of these answers?
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Does it involve shooting a mummy?
Oh, mama, just killed a man.
Rebel says, weirdly enough, even though I did archaeology, we covered nothing about Egypt.
I can confirm. I've asked Rebels so many questions about Egyptian archaeology, and it's just nothing behind the eyes. Don't know if that's because she was damning my soul for all eternity, but
Yeah, you know, one or the other.
maybe both.
True.
I do know that one of my friends from when I was at uni basically said that his archaeology course boiled down to 2 years of training them on archaeology, and year 3 was just, yeah, we made it all up. That's how archaeology goes, you just make it all up. And he was like, oh, wish they'd told us that sooner.
My favourite meme when it comes to archaeology.
Before I paid another 2 years of fees.
My favourite meme when it comes to archaeology is that everything is a ritual object. Everything. Don't know what it is. It's a ritual object.
Object.
We can show you the ones of future technology.
Yeah, Rebel says, yeah, in year 1 we got the it's probably religious talk. Question 3. Which female pharaoh had the longest reign?
I don't know. How far away could a horse go?
Which female pharaoh had the longest reign?
If I can't spell the name
I'm not.
or properly pronounce the name, can I at least describe factoids to make sure so that you can clarify that I'm talking about the right person?
As long as you get vaguely near the pronunciation of the name, I'll accept it.
Oh God.
I do have interesting factoids about all of these questions, actually, because I do. There's a lot of interesting factoids about ancient Egyptian quiz.
How about the quiz? Not actually
Yeah.
about the ancient Egypt.
No, just the quiz in general. Yeah, it's weird. Romans onwards, like most history lessons, says Rebels.
In year one, we got the it's probably religious talk.
Yeah,
Valid.
we did, I mean, my school, we didn't do, I did history, and my history lessons were the history of medicine, which was largely, we kind of sawed bits off of you or drilled into you up to Victorian times, where we learned that we could knock you out and, like, clean up after ourselves. And then we worked out a load of stuff about everything in World War One and Two.
Well, once they figured out bacteria was bad and washing hands was good, a lot less people died.
It's surprising, really.
Very.
Yeah, you'd think that'd be easy to. I mean, they worked that out, and then yeah, the death rates went down real quick.
I mean, to be
Well,
fair, I think one of the quick ones is
so-
to get off of the teachings of Galen as well.
Oh, sorry, Ben, I interrupted. What did you say?
I was saying probably one of the other great ones for the sake of taking down the risk of death was actually getting away from the teachings of Galen, who did all his case studies on monkeys and just believed that we must be the same.
Oh,
Right.
where was Galen from?
Earth.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Correct.
I think it was Hephaestus. I think.
Right.
But no,
Sounds right enough, but I wouldn't say no.
No, so one of my favorite facts when it comes to like the development of germ theory is simply the main guy we have to thank about vectors being like the idea of like how diseases are transferred. He was called Jon Snow.
Yep.
Did he know
what-
anything?
Not according to the Royal College of Medicine.
No.
Thanks for the vector, Victor.
And even better when it came down to just for the sake of the hand pump, water pump, which he figured out was causing the problem of so much dysentery. It was a case of they convinced him to take the handle off. They put the handle back on again because they didn't fully believe in him. To find out that it all went back up again, realized that, oh no, he's right, take it off again.
Oh no, he's right.
I think the funniest part of the whole thing is that he detested alcohol. And right next door to the water pump, which he convinced him to take the handle off of, is now the Jon Snow pub, a place he would hate. Literally named after him.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's fucking amazing.
And on to question 4. Which pharaoh has the most surviving statues? Which pharaoh has the most surviving statues?
The one with the most surviving statues.
Do we need the number?
I do
Not
have...
number of statues.
Yes, precisely how many statues does he still have? No, if you can get me his... If you can get me his number, great. If you can't, I do have like a epitaph that also works. Or just, yeah, I guess the name. Don't need the number or the epitaph.
Thank God.
I'll be kind.
Or thank random Egyptian deity, none of which I'm going to name because it might be a quiz answer.
Actually, I did stay away from the Petsajet, so should be pretty good. I could go back and
the lesson as a kid. Jeez.
I'll go back and do ancient Egyptian mythology for another one sometime.
Fair enough.
Question 5, however. The first known labour strike in recorded history occurred under which pharaoh? We can't say for certain it's the first actual labour strike, but the first one they wrote down about.
first one where historians are all like, they're going to keep doing this, aren't they?
The ones from the Prince of Egypt are just very, very upset. So constant, let my people go for a 20-minute lunch break.
It's a less impressive film if you just say it that way, isn't it?
Whippings only after the third offence.
Let my people have standard rights for like lunch times and 10 days paid holiday a year.
While we're at it, can we talk about the health and safety of making a pyramid?
Oh, so really disappointingly, one of the best city building games of like I think the 90s was when it came out, is a game called Pharaoh, and that's how I fell in love with ancient Egypt, and it's why you're all suffering this round now.
Yeah, wasn't that 94?
Something like that. But like it's one of the Sierra Impression city builders, so things like Caesar 3, Zeus, and all that. But
Because sorry.
a studio recently remastered it, and infamously, the original game was terrible at like putting decals when you were building pyramids to make sure that it looked like people were going up a ramp correctly. So it looked like they were just sort of floating off into midair temporarily and then getting back. Because the mud was too short or the mud was too long and they were randomly turning through walls. But somehow, in the remaster, they have made that bug worse.
Wow.
They've probably done it for the fans as an Easter egg. I've seen them do that in remasters of some games where the bug is so minor, but it's something that's popular.
Because it's just funny and silly.
Yeah. I've seen them remaster the original black and white.
That was the one I was just going to say. What was the one that Dad used to play for hours, and then I think you got involved in?
Yeah.
Oh, I loved the black and white games. I've got Black and White 1 and Black and White 2, and the expansion of Black and White 2.
I didn't like the second one as much as the first one, to be honest. I liked the first one a lot, but the second one, I don't know what it was. It seemed like it was too much.
It did change the game quite a lot. It's something that needed to happen, but like, yeah, it didn't feel as I am a mighty god as the first game.
Question 6.
Wait, what was question 5?
Question 5 was the labour strike.
Oh, right, yeah. I just have no clue. That's why I've got nothing there.
Question 6. Who was the first person to die from King Tut's curse? Who was the first person to die from King Tut's curse?
But I do have to admit, one of my favorite parts of Black and White is being able to pick up a villager if you don't like him and flinging them into the ocean.
It sounds so kind.
I'm guessing your hands by the end of the game were just like full talons.
No, actually, I usually finish the game sort of in the middle. I was actually pretty good to my people. The only actual characters that I did that to was when you're on the first island, there's like this old stodgy guy living on like a mountain, and he's all like, I want you to kill these 3 villagers because they keep worrying my sheep. And I was all like, well, you're kind of a dick, so I'm gonna throw you into the ocean. So I just threw him into the ocean. And then
Oh, smite the mighty smiter, not me!
and then there was one where the evil god kills the dude with the turtle, and then he starts like really destroying his land, and you have to try and save the land quickly. And I never saved it fast enough, so I used to get a lot of dark points for not being fast enough to save this guy's area. And I'm all like, I mean, I'm going as fast as I can. What the fuck do you want from me?
Like, two of my favorite things from that game. One were the sailors from the first island.
Oh god, those guys were great.
Especially since they turned up on the last island in the game. I love them.
This island
That's
was
so dumb.
What's the special question?
But
way...
I love that you revisit the first island for like the 3rd or 4th island.
Yeah.
And that's just that was so good.
Though I used to, I played the game so much I could remember where that black hole would pop up. So towards that section of the first island, I would pile so many supplies right where that black hole would open up. And I'd have all of my village buildings there, so my villagers were right there. So when the
Not
black
to
hole
interrupt your
opened up-
reminiscences, but one, Sir Drubers would like to know if Rogue Trader owns Root.
They're mocking me. They're mocking me because I bought an expansion pack for Root today. And sadly, I forgot that I don't in fact own Root.
Okay.
However, I did buy the expansion pack that involves badges that are basically play acting at being the Brotherhood of Steel, and a giant army of rats. So I'm looking forward to buying the main base game just to play that.
And secondly, question 7. The Great Pyramids of Giza consists of how many pyramids?
Ooh.
Are we talking about original constructions or?
The Great Pyramids of Giza consist of how many pyramids? Oh, that the expansion you nearly got, Drew, because you own Root as well, don't you? Oh, look, he's not gone quiet in the chat now.
He will own it.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for defending me, John. Thank you.
The cafe owns Root.
I did try and play it using the cafe's base game because I bought it randomly whilst I was in town after axe throwing today. And
expansion pack for a game you don't own,
Because he presumed he owned it in the thousands that he already owns.
I guess.
I mean dozens, not thousands.
I mean,
Alphabetize them, then you'll know.
I mean, you're like you don't have this game.
I was impulsive and I saw the thing that I've been wanting. Let me have my happy purchase, okay?
You're impulsive when you buy pizza. At least he buys something he can reuse.
I mean, I will impulse buy pizza.
Oh my god!
Wrong. I cannot reuse pizza, which is such a shame.
Question.
Throw it up and reheat it, but that's kind of gross.
Question 8.
Yes, please.
What was the first pyramid to be built called?
Okay.
Letitia.
Nothing to do with the quiz, I just got a foot cramp. Oh, bugger.
We didn't even go swimming this week.
No, it's good.
Yes, that seems like a suitably terrible answer.
How pedantic are you being with that question?
Not as pedantic as you, generally.
I'll make sure I get my answers right, damn it.
I have
My name's
2
not
potential answers. And
None of them
several
are correct.
factoids. Question 9. What does the word hieroglyphics mean? What does the word hieroglyphics mean?
I'm going to be brutally honest, I did not know it had a meaning.
Jennifer got introduced to a Hitchcock short film today, and now she's very impressed with. Well, she knew Hitchcock was brilliant, but watching that reinforced her.
It's like he's good, but then sometimes you see something and you're all like, he's good. It's weird. It's like I've always known he was good, and I've seen bits of his work before, but I don't know, something about that one just kind of.
He's the master.
He was.
The master.
And I don't know if it was him being really good at choosing actors or if he just brought the best out of the actors he had. But oh my god,
Possibly both. I don't know.
the micro expressions and everything was just. Oof.
Yeah.
So
You
I'm
weren't saying-
sensing we might do a round on Hitchcock at some point in the future.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
That would be good.
Finally, question 10. Which pharaoh covered slaves in honey to attract the flies away from him?
I did not know that was something someone did.
I didn't know it until I was researching this quiz and thought, I have to share this with people. This has to go in the quiz, and we have to, find out if you guys know it, and if you don't, educate you on it.
Well, I'm looking forward to the education. Uh,
Are we ready for some answers?
Raise will ever be.
Might as well.
Rogue.
If I get this wrong, I'm going to be so embarrassed.
Ancient Egypt was responsible for the earliest known peace treaty that was between Egypt and which group of people?
The Treaty of Kadesh was signed between the ancient Egyptians and the Hittites.
You are correct. The Egyptian Hittite peace treaty is the only ancient Near Eastern treaty in which both sides have survived. The copy of the treaty is displayed on a wall in the United Nations headquarters in New York.
Wow.
Those are my factoids about it. Rogue, have you got anything else you'd like to add?
I do. So both sides. So it's called the Treaty of Kadesh mostly because it was the result of the Battle of Kadesh, in which both sides claim they won. Which is very entertaining. One by virtue of holding the fields, the other by virtue of holding the city.
We got our bit! Yay!
Also, fun fact, they refer to each other as brothers in the treaty, because that is how most monarchs refer to each other as at the time, as they consider each other brothers and equals. Little fun fact for you.
Yeah.
Ben, what is the name of the funerary figurine placed in tombs to serve as servants for the deceased in the afterlife?
I had no idea, so I put down jackals.
Angel.
It's either Shebti or Sebti. I couldn't remember which.
Correct. Shebti, also known as Ushebti, dolls. They are frequently shown with hoes on their shoulders or baskets on their backs. The figurines were produced in huge numbers, and along with scarabs, they are the most numerous of all ancient Egyptian antiquities to survive.
So I'm not sure what a hoe has to do with everything else. I mean, just carrying a woman on your shoulders isn't going to get a lot of work done.
Depends what work you're doing.
Angel.
Operating?
Yeah.
Angel, which female pharaoh had the longest reign?
God, I remembered 3 and I couldn't remember which one, so Hatshepsut?
Yes.
Yes.
Hatshepsut. I'm guessing on most of the pronunciations. They didn't give me
Thank God. That's the one I was thinking of.
They didn't give me any pronunciation guide, any of that sort of thing. She was the second historically confirmed female pharaoh, and she was widely regarded as one of the most successful. She reigned longer than any other woman of an indigenous Egyptian dynasty. She ruled from 1507 to 1458 BC, and was the 5th pharaoh of the 18th dynasty. Her name means foremost of noble ladies. She was also known for wearing a false beard, and even had...
Yeah, okay, because there was one. Yeah, there was also a pharaoh that they thought was male, but then they decided it might have been a female because she was often depicted with a beard, which is why they could. But the statues and the face were too fine to be a man's.
Yes, so she was known for wearing a false beard and even having her likeness depicted as male in order to establish her authority.
That was probably who I was thinking about when I put the wrong name down. But yeah. I've heard about her and I thought, bloody wonderful. But it's kind of sad that she had to pose as a man, but understandably. And I was just going to say the fact that you can't pronounce the names is fine because nobody can because ancient Egypt is it's basically
There's-
a lost language.
There's nobody
darling.
around to let me know how they pronounce them,
Yeah,
so you know.
they all sort of
Get in the
eventually
comments
died.
now.
I
Tell
mean,
John how he's wrong.
there are the Copts who still speak Demotic. Not to be quintessentially pedantic. No, there are other fun facts about her. So she's actually one of the most successful in terms of expanding ancient Egypt, which she didn't do via war. She did it mostly by trade agreements and peace treaties and negotiation. Very cool. Unfortunately, she is also one of the widest victims of the weird Egyptian practice of erasing their predecessors. Because whilst
Right.
she started off as the regent for, I think, her little brother, she eventually took the throne outright. But then the guy who came after her was just like, nah, I'm going to just rip her name off all of this stuff, put my name on, destroy loads of her statues. Well, it's just like, it's kind of a miracle we actually knew she existed, because she was a badass, and the guy afterwards was useless.
And
Yeah,
speaking
no,
of people with surviving statues, Angel Mama, which pharaoh has the most surviving statues?
so many names went through my head, but there was one name that stuck out, and I'm not going to pronounce it even close to right. It was Amsur, some Araman or something. I can't remember. It wasn't one of the Ramses, though. I'm sure of it.
Araman?
Rogue,
I was just going to say Ramses the Great.
Ben.
Oh.
I don't know many pharaohs, so I put down Ramesses.
Angel.
I think it was like a Nunhotep or something.
Amenhotep.
Ah!
Amenhotep the Third.
Close.
I think you're close enough.
Well
Very
done.
Amenhotep III, also known as Amenhotep the Magnificent, because he was very modest, has over 250 statues that have survived. The statues span his entire life and show a portrait of his entire reign. He was the 9th pharaoh of the 18th dynasty. His reign was a period of unprecedented prosperity, and during this time, Egypt reached the peak of its artistic and international power.
Very
And
good.
so that probably explains why he had so many statues made.
Nah, it was very clearly like...
question I didn't know the answer to.
See, now, in my head, it's entirely like somebody would make a statue of her and you'd be like, you've not got the chin quite right. And then the next
Do
guy
it
comes
again.
along and it's like, you've got the ears wrong. And again.
Rogue,
Oh no.
the first known labour strike in recorded
I
history,
don't
occurred
have an
under
answer
which
for this.
pharaoh? Ben.
I don't have an answer for that.
Ramesses.
Yes.
Hey!
Ramesses III, to be precise.
That's what we got.
During the 29th year of his reign, he was unable to provide food rations to the tomb builders and artisans of the town that is now known as Deir el Medina. The workers were not given their ration of wheat, and as a result had a sit-down labour strike. They wrote a letter to the officials stating their case, and the rations were delivered. They went back to work the next day, and would continue to have strikes due to low provisions. Egypt would go through about 2 decades of arrested tree growth and trouble producing grain.
Wow.
The fact that they wrote makes me think that these slaves were highly educated compared to what we seem to think slaves are. When you hear the word
I mean,
slave.
to be fair, some of them had to be, just for the sake. When it came down to the writing on the murals and the walls, there had to be educated a lot of them just so they could actually put down the right words and such.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, I understand that, but it's often the misconception is that slaves were drudge, that they had no education, they had no status,
Yeah.
and actually that mostly they were generally well looked after because they bloody needed them.
I mean, the ones that they bloody needed, they looked after, yes.
Yeah,
So-
ancient Egyptian slavery was very different from sort of like what people most imagine as like chattel slavery.
Yes,
Um,
exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ben, who was the first person to die from King Tut's curse?
Bob.
Angel.
Lord Carnarvon?
Carnarvon. Carnarvon.
Carnarvon, Lord Carnarvon.
Yes,
I think there's still a Lord Carnarvon to this day.
he died 5 months after the opening of King Tut's tomb. At the time, the media fueled the curse of the pharaoh for selling newspapers, because that's what they do. It is now believed that he died from an infected mosquito bite.
Yes, correct.
Was he the guy who opened the tomb?
No.
It's the one who funded it.
Lord Carnarvon funded the dig, but he didn't open the tomb.
Howard Carter, I think, is the one who opened the tomb.
Because I literally wrote the guy who opened it.
The infamous curse has been largely discredited because
Curses
ancient
aren't
curses
real.
don't happen. One
Yeah.
study has showed that of the 58 people who were present when the tomb and sarcophagus were opened, only 8 of them died in the next 12 months. 12 years.
12 months would be a little
12
more
months
sus.
is a little bit sus. 12 years, that's a bit longer. Angel, the Great Pyramids of Giza consist of how many pyramids?
3, Khufu, Kufar, and I think it was Meneshep?
Correct.
Cool.
You've read out all the fact I have about this one as well, so we'll move straight on to
We'll remove points for that one.
Angel Mama. What was the first pyramid to be built called?
I honestly can't remember, and I just read it like 5 minutes ago.
Rogue.
So, I've gone with the stepped pyramid because I think because that's the one that I think is the first pyramid. I'm worried that you're going with the first true pyramid.
You are correct.
Oh, thank God.
It is the step pyramid. The step pyramid, or the pyramid of Yossa. Not as
Or something.
I thought you wanted a name for the pyramid. I knew it was a step pyramid.
it was known
I
as
thought you
the
wanted an-
step pyramid.
Well, yeah, the step pyramid.
Because
But
it was the one designed. I want to say by, oddly enough, the name is in fact Imhotep.
It was built during the 3rd dynasty for the pharaoh Yossa. It is surrounded by a wall of limestone 10.5 meters high. The wall has 15 doors, but only one of them opens. The others are for the pharaoh to use in the afterlife.
well,
Is
it's
it-
me lucky.
Was it his heir that had the bent and true pyramid built?
Yeah.
Oh, I know that bit.
There's a guy. I think it was the pharaoh Snofru who had those ones built. I think he was his son, and he wanted to sort of one up.
I mean,
his
that
dad.
makes sense, really, doesn't it?
Also, so do you know how they came up with the idea of the stepped pyramid?
Common sense?
Aliens.
Mostly. So, traditional burial practice for like nobles and pharaohs and whatnot until that point was to build essentially a mud brick structure called a mastaba, which is very much just, hey, here's a big old pile of bricks that we put a smooth surface on, and we bury you inside. Literally, in the notes that we have for how they designed the step pyramid, he literally went, right, cool, let's just put like
Different.
smaller ones on top of, like, get a big mastaba, make it of stone, and then put a smaller one on top of that, and a smaller one on top of that until we can't fit another one on top.
I mean, my mum did give, when I tested this quiz with my parents, my mum's answer was the first pyramid known as, hey, what's that pointy thing in the field?
I did also put down here that big triangle thing.
I will let my
Well
mum know
said.
that she is not alone.
Ooh, can I ask a question of you, John?
Yes.
Where are the most pyramids?
Sudan.
Not Egypt.
Las Vegas.
Angel Mama has it.
Egypt doesn't have the most. It's just that because of the pyramids of Giza, they get probably more tourists.
Rogue,
Because of the Victorian.
Oh no.
what does the word hieroglyphics mean?
Oh, I have no idea, but I wrote down sun glyph.
Ben.
Hieroglyphics means the written language, which comprised the pictures from the ancient Egyptians.
Angel.
Sacred writing.
Correct. The other factoid I have is just that we weren't able to decipher what they meant until we found the Rosetta Stone, which contained a message from Pharaoh Ptolemy V.
Written in.
It was written in
Hieroglyphics and Greek.
Yeah.
And wasn't there a third language though?
Yeah, I thought it had like a bunch of languages.
Yeah,
No, 3.
it's 3, but one of which you could still translate.
Latin?
It was...
No, was it
Yes,
Linear
but the third
B?
language was only really a recipe.
Oh, it was Ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, Demiotic script, and Greek script.
It was a book. It was a cookbook. How to Serve Man.
And then finally, Ben.
Uh-huh.
What was the name of the pharaoh that covered his slaves in honey to attract the flies away from himself?
I had no idea, and once again, my limited knowledge of pharaohs, I put Tutankhamun.
I'd love to say yes, but Angel.
Pepe II.
Correct.
How do you know that?
Jennifer and I researched ancient Egypt 5 minutes before the quiz.
Exactly.
Pepe II
bet-
despised flies so much that he would cover his slaves in honey so that the flies would go after the slaves instead of him. He also became pharaoh at the age of 6.
Wasn't he the longest reigning?
He might be. That is not a fact they determined to give me.
He lived into his 90s. He was one of the longest reigning pharaohs.
Didn't he outlive his kids? And I think the only other person who was even close to it was, oddly enough, Ramses the Great.
I think so.
Who, hilariously, was, so, Ramses the Great, famously, ginger.
No.
Uh-huh. Which actually meant that for generations afterwards, and it's actually referenced in Assassin's Creed Origins, that, like, people would reckon anyone who had red hair would be kind of presumed to be one of his bastard children. Because he had so many kids.
Could
Uh,
be true.
Apparently, his being the longest reigning monarch is up for debate, because there are some ancient Egyptian texts that say he reigned for 94 years, but there are other Egyptologists who point out that they don't have any records for him after his 31st year.
I don't know. The 94
94 was
years
what we
is what we
heard,
got,
yeah.
So
So yeah, he may be the really longest reigning one. He may have ruled for 31 years, and then somebody else reigned for a bit, and they don't know who it was.
he did live a long time though, which was pretty impressive in and of itself.
He lived.
It's all ancient history.
By definition.
Yes.
You just had to go there.
Anyway.
You know, I appreciate this because it's the only time that statement is true. 'Cause everyone says it's all ancient history about every other time period. Even the Romans. The Romans are not ancient history, but they're still called bloody ancient Rome, and it annoys the heck out of me.
The Gamp. What is your score?
2.
The no
I
marks.
did amazingly.
4.
Angel Feather.
9.
And do you contain knowledge?
7.
Well. Well.
Ben, I'm starting to see why we keep losing this, and I think it's because neither of us do our research.
Did you not pick this category?
I know,
Well,
right?
no, I chose Egyptian mythology and completely forgot that in the end it became ancient history. ancient Egyptian history, and I was just like, literally, I spent all of today going, "Oh, it's mythology. I'll be fine." John had thoroughly corrected me last week that it was history, so this is entirely on me. So I'm just like, "Oh yeah, you got Sekhmet and da da da. I know all my
It's one of
gods.
those
That's
things
fine."
that if it was mythology, I think I might have done better. For the sake of when it comes down to history, I'm gonna place down and play this early. I just haven't had time to study, so I had enough. I'm trying to study for other things.
Fair enough.
I've made a note that I'm going to add rounds on ancient Egyptian mythology and Hitchcock films in the coming months. So we've got that to look forward to. But for now, we're going to go to round 2, which is Human World. And some of these are multiple choice.
What on earth is human world?
It's where we live.
The
Look
built
around you.
environment?
It's humans. It's human things.
Oh God.
Hey, humans got in here? Where are they?
Ah!
Question
People.
Question 1. Of all the people that have ever been born, what percentage are alive today? 0.5, 2, 4, or 7? Brings out the anti-human broom.
What were the options again?
Stanza, do you sell those?
Of all the people that have ever been born, about what percentage are alive today? 0.5%, 2%, 4%, or 7%? Slowly slides open broom cupboard.
That's an interesting question, though.
I very much hope I've got this one right, because otherwise I'm gonna cry slightly.
I don't know, but I just accidentally write a 3 instead of a 2 for the next question. That's gotta show how good my mind is.
Your
Your
many
many
mind.
mind.
My mind is he's very quick.
Do you need a glass of water, Ben?
Have a stroke.
Should we take 5? Let Ben have a glass of water.
No, we're going to do question 2, which is, what is the world's largest pyramid?
Oh, no multiple choice on that one, huh?
Burj Khalifa?
I'll narrow it down and say that I'll give you a point if you can tell me what country it is in. If you can tell me the exact name, I'll give you a bonus point, but you get a point if you can tell me which country in the world has the world's largest pyramid.
This is one of these horrible questions where this could genuinely be a trick question, and you just want us to say Egypt, because we just did a round on it.
I mean, I feel like I should have, like, the QI klaxons at some point for this.
Yeah.
I really need to get that as a soundbite on the soundboard, because I do have 3 sounds on a soundboard. Like, I do have this. I mean, you need to be watching the stream to get the full effect of it.
With the sound on. Hold on.
With the sound on.
Do it again.
I mean, if I say something funny like, you gotta love a happy medium, we've got the laugh track going, and I can't remember what this one is. Oh yeah, this is, if we say something shocking like, do I contain knowledge? That's an acronym that stands for DICK. Crowd gasps. Anyway.
Huh. Didn't hear the gasp.
Sacre bleu.
You didn't hear the gasps?
No.
It's a very quick and subtle one.
Well, it sounds like a lot like. Never mind.
So yeah, I should get
Anyway,
the QI
with awkward
klaxon.
silence, let's carry on forward.
In what year did astronauts last walk on the moon? Would you like some multiple choice for that one?
Yes, please.
1972, 1982, 1992, or 2002?
You narrow it down.
It's one of the ones that ends in 2.
Oh, you play a coy game.
Oh, I'm gonna kick myself up with the other one.
I've just given up and not worrying about that anymore.
Question 4.
Oh, hold on a second.
That's okay. I just have to let a dog out to pee.
Okay.
She gotta get your ass outside.
Who let the
You
dogs
tell your
out?
mum.
You.
Angel Mother.
You.
Angel Mother just did rogue. We know who did it. There's not a question.
There you go.
Go on, out.
Question 4. If you laid out all the blood vessels in your body end to end, you'd be dead. But approximately how far would it stretch? 5,000 kilometers, 15,000 kilometers, 150,000 kilometers, or 500,000 kilometers?
Sorry, start that from the beginning again.
If you laid out all of your blood vessels from your body end to end, approximately how far would they stretch? 5,000 kilometers, 15,000 kilometers, 150,000 kilometers, or 500,000 kilometers?
A lot of kilometers.
Uh-huh.
No matter the answer, that's a lot of kilometers.
I'm more worried about the stretching side of things, so surely that'll make them snap.
Hopefully our answers are snappy enough. I'm just waiting for John to press the boo button.
I don't have a boo button. I gave you the laugh track for that. It's a little slow when I'm not prepared for sound effects.
You got pity laughs. There you go.
Yay!
Good buddy.
Which of these inventions was invented most recently? The train, the bicycle, the microscope, or the light bulb?
Ooh.
Which of these inventions was invented the most recently? The train, the bicycle, the microscope, or the light bulb? It's really, if you've played the game Timelines, you this is one of those ones that you would hopefully know a bit about.
I hate this one because it could be like that. There are very. It's one of those ones where it could be a trick question and you could re-rationalize all of them to be right. I hate you. Hate you with your devious questions.
Rogue, stop confusing us.
The only thing I have to ask at the moment, I mean, there's 3 which at least I can sort of roughly put in depending on what happens from this. When you say the bicycle, are you including the Bone Shaker, the first one with no pedals and gears, as a bicycle?
I am not sure, because I didn't extensively research this.
Because technically I think the first bicycle was the one which had the gears and actually had propulsion rather than just being something you sat on and kicked your legs off of the floor.
I believe that they are going to go with the first one that had propulsion.
Okay.
I won't lie. I heard Bone Shaker, and it just sounds like it should be like a song title.
There is a song out there called Bone Shaker, I'm sure of it.
There is a book by Katie Milford. There is a band called the Bone Shaker Band.
I just thought the reason why it was called Bone Shaker because basically back then they had no suspension, no nothing, and tons of cobble streets. So you could go quite fast on them going downhill, but you would be shaking the entire time.
voice is hurting.
Which case is one of my favorite parts of literal nicknames for for creations.
These are always the
That's
I'm going to be out of breath for the next 45 minutes because I just went upstairs.
Wait, what?
I said I'm going to be out of breath for the next 45 minutes because I just went upstairs.
okay. That's fine. I don't know why I thought with the beginning of that sentence that could have gone very bad.
Ben,
There are too many possibilities with that.
dinner.
Okay,
I want dinner first, dude.
I will give a bonus point
Oh no.
if you can arrange them in order of the year that they were invented.
Oh.
Oh no.
I will give you a bonus point if you can arrange all 4 of those by which came first to which came most recently. You get a point for saying which of them was invented most recently correctly, but if you can list them in the correct order, because I've looked it up.
So it was light bulb, train, bicycle, and
Microscope. Train, bicycle, microscope, light bulb. What is the correct order for what they were invented in?
see the problem is like if you get the main part of this wrong, you get the bonus point wrong as well by definition.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
Oh, we're so screwed, Ben.
Question 6. On average, how much of a movie do you miss because you are blinking? 55
Oh.
seconds.
Men and women.
55 seconds. 3 minutes. 9 minutes. Or 15 minutes.
Or the entire thing if you're my dad.
That's just
Sleep
called.
immediately.
That's just called falling asleep.
Well, yeah, but it does require blinking extremely slowly. What were the options again?
55 seconds. 3 minutes. 9 minutes. Or 15 minutes.
Oh, I completely misheard that. Freaking.
This is going to indicate how little I think I blink.
I don't think more for how quickly you blink in comparison.
Now that we've mentioned blinking, though, my brain, like, I keep actively blinking.
Same here.
3 hour thick or
It's like I'm trying to figure out the timing of it. It's just...
Now, people like me with autism who will actively refuse to blink and come out of the cinema rubbing our eyes because they're so dry now.
That is why it says,
a fellow
on
sufferer.
average, how much do you miss? Not, Jennifer, we've watched how much you blinked in that film. How much did you miss of it?
We're going to send you back in so you can catch up.
But don't women blink more than men? Or is it the other way around?
I don't know.
It depends on whether you're trying to flutter your eyes to...
Never fluttered my eyes at anybody, thank you, sir.
I've fluttered my eyes many times.
Same here, actually.
Did it work?
Hasn't done anything, but still, you.
It worked surprisingly well.
Mostly
it gets-
again, doing it to a mirror, I don't think works.
No, I did get glitter in my eye once, though. That was a bit of an unfortunate moment.
Apparently, women blink more than men.
Yeah.
And older women blink more than younger women.
Always overperforming, aren't you?
And Jennifer's a weirdo that blinks abnormally.
Oh, is there anything on ADHD and blinking in there?
Jennifer's abnormal from the roots of her hair down to her toenails.
Oh,
We have a visitor.
Hey, Chris.
hello.
I'm not here.
Okay, cool. You know we're streaming, right?
No, everyone else is. I just want to be part of it. Shh.
It's
Okay.
okay. It's okay. Just give me the answers, and it'll be
Don't give
perfectly
anybody
fine.
the answers.
Just give me the answers. It's okay.
Ready?
Just write them in the chat,
question-
Chris. It'll be fine.
Question 7.
Hang
Which
on.
country has won the most Olympic gold medals relative to the size of its population?
What?
I've heard this one.
That was like a question going in one direction and then change entirely.
Which country has the most Olympic gold medals relative to the size of its population? A. The Bahamas, B. Australia, C. Finland, or D. New Zealand?
Ah.
Well, my answer that I gave was wrong. Can you
Yeah,
repeat
see,
that? Liz?
None of those is the answer I would have given in the first instance.
Can you repeat the answers, John?
Bahamas, Australia, Finland, or New Zealand?
I feel like I'm missing some context here. I'm going to go and join the FBF Twitch chat. Just what now? What I'm missing out on right now.
Bye-bye.
You are.
Okay. Don't forget your anti-human broom.
Oh, I
Quick,
got to
before
go.
the party, Jason. Before the party catches you.
Question 8. How many bathtubs of snot, i.e. mucus, does the average human produce in a lifetime?
That depends. Does it include the amount which is eaten after they picked it?
Oh, gross.
Well, I mean, yeah, you still produced it. Is it 9, 29, 109, or 209?
What was the question, John? I was getting a drink.
How many bathtubs of snot does the average human produce in a lifetime?
Why?
This is such an American question.
How big's the
It is.
bathtub? What's the
Like-
metric of the bathtub?
An average bathtub.
Like, this is my point. It's like, it could have been measured in liters. It could have been measured in gallons. Although that would be equally as unhelpful. Like, this is like measuring things in upset alligators. Or like football fields. Or slightly disappointed flamingos. Because for some reason a disappointed flamingo might be slightly shorter than a happy
Okay, I
flamingo.
will give you half a point for how many gallons. And you only get half a point for how many gallons.
You talked
Uh,
your way into that one, didn't you, Rogue?
I mean, I wish I knew the translation, but hey, if somebody else gets the point, go for it. I wasn't meant to come across as berating you, John. I was just berating measurements and such.
Question 9. What part of the human body is the mandible?
Oh god.
I'm loving the facial expressions on Ben right now. It's something special.
Does he have his thinking hat on?
What was question 8 again? Alright, the mandibles.
Question 10. The rate at which the body produces energy from nutrients is controlled by which gland in the neck?
That's done in the neck?
Well, the chemicals that tell your body how much to do is done in the neck.
Wow. That's why I have a pin in the neck all the time.
I have a piece of bone floating in my neck that doesn't belong there, and the doctors don't know where it came from.
Sorry about that.
Seriously, I got pneumonia when I was like 14, and they did an X-ray literally from my sort of nose down. I mean, they were checking everything, and they were like, do you realise there's a no? Have you ever broken your neck? Was one of the first questions, and I'm like,
I feel that's something you would have noticed.
yeah, that was pretty much my answer. And so it was a resounding no. And they're like, well, the X-ray shows bone, and it's not connected to anything. And so they started manipulating my neck, and I'm like,
Hang on. I just joined the live stream, and then heard what was being talked about, and what?
Yeah.
More context required, please.
My mom has random bones in her body that shouldn't exist.
I have a bone in my neck that's not connected to anything, and the doctors freak out about it whenever I have an X-ray because I don't tell them. But my grandfather.
You'd think they'd write that down.
That's okay, because I'm freaking out about it now.
But my grandfather on my mother's side, no, my great-grandfather, because it was her grandfather, he had one in his forehead, and he used to move it around to freak her out when she was a child.
Huh.
Is there any more family history of superfluous bones that maybe we should be made aware of, or?
Those are the only two I know. Those are the only two I know. As her father, I never asked my grandmother about any bones. I think that would have been inappropriate.
Grandmama, do you have any extra bones?
Yes. Father, whilst I have a moment of your time, is there any superfluous bones we should be doing?
I mean, be careful asking your father. You might get an answer you don't want.
How else are you going to know about them? Anyway,
What's really disappointing is I have an extra toe joint, which means I'm not going to ever be a hero because I don't have a quirk.
Oh, that's
true.
No, that's ruined it for everyone.
Shame.
Sorry.
Let's get some answers to these questions as well. Ben.
I'll be wrong.
Yeah, no, right?
Ben, of all the people that have ever been born, what percentage are alive today?
I said 2.
Angel.
Ooh.
0.5?
Angel Mama.
Well, I said 2, so I'm presuming it has to be not that, because Ben said the same thing.
Rogue.
7%?
It is 7%.
Wow.
Too much.
That did seem too much.
There are a lot of people alive today.
There
And
are
a lot less before.
multiplied from when we started.
8 billion people alive at this point in time right now.
It's not like we're taking censuses
Don't
back then?
worry, the war's going to take care of a few of them.
It's mostly done by estimates, but take for example, like in the Roman period, they think that across the world they had about 100 million to 150 million. So twice the modern population of the UK.
I love the fact that at a guess, when it comes to like BC kind of stuff, and it's like the Romans or the French or whatever,
Well,
they're like,
the Romans
at a guess, we can say there's about people alive right now.
Angel, what or where is the world's largest pyramid?
I don't know. Is it Khufu in Egypt?
It is not. Angel
Is
Mama.
It didn't have a name, but I put down the country as Peru.
Ben.
I said the one which gets closest to the sky.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Rogue.
No, he could be wrong if there's one that's on a higher elevation, but it's shorter.
I have put down Mexico.
You get a point for Mexico.
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh, right, because they have
It is
Mayan pyramid.
Cho'ula.
Yeah.
It has a volume.
Closest to the sky.
It has a volume twice the size of the Great Pyramid of Giza.
Is that the one in the Yucatan, or am I thinking? Or is it the one that's in Teotihuacan? Which is horrible to say because I can't speak Nahuatl.
I've looked it up and
You
I've
and me
got
both,
consonants.
What's wrong with you?
Everybody's having a stroke tonight. Like, should we be concerned?
I mean,
No.
you shouldn't. Nope.
Yeah.
Resisting that joke. Resisting that joke.
Yeah, that one you said, Rogue. Nahuatl for made by hand pyramid.
Yes.
Anyway, question 3. I need to ask to
My mom.
Angel Mama. What year did astronauts last walk on the moon?
I put down 72.
You are correct.
Damn it.
We really didn't go to the moon that much.
We didn't.
I honestly thought, I went with 82 because 92 was after the fall of the Soviet Union, and
82
7.
is when they blew things up. Remember the Challenger?
No, I wasn't born.
It's
You
no
breathe.
excuse. You should know this by now.
I wasn't even a sparkle in my father's eye.
You read
You came
though.
out your father's eye.
They're doing it wrong.
Ben,
Uh-huh.
if you laid out all your blood vessels, how far would it
So messed
stretch?
up.
I said 15,000.
Rogue,
I put 15,000.
Angel,
150,000?
you are correct. That's enough to wrap around the Earth 2.5 times.
So,
Oh Christ! I didn't connect those two factoids. I honestly, genuinely was like, I can't be remembering that right.
It's
That
one of those
doesn't-
things where I remember about one part of the body part, and I can't really remember what it is. If it was stretched out, it
I
would
think
be
it's-
miles worth.
It's your intestines. If you stretch
Yeah.
out your intestines, they would be 10 to 12 miles long.
Okay, so we now get to the order of inventions. I'm gonna start by saying Rogue. What's your
Shall I just-
ordering on these?
I've gone with microscope, train, light bulb, bicycle.
You get 1 point.
Ooh.
So, if you got bicycle as being the most recent, that is
Uh-huh.
correct.
Okay.
And it's even the Bone Shaker bicycle is the most recent of those inventions.
Oh, really?
So, to go through the list and to put them in order, if you have this order, you have a bonus point. The first microscope was invented around 1600 by a Dutch spectacle maker called Zacharias Janssen. The light bulb was invented on January the 27th, 1880.
Oh, so close.
The train was 1804. Was invented by Richard Trevithick, a British engineer born in Cornwall.
Sounds terrific.
And the Bone
And his
Shaker...
was-
The Bone Shaker bicycle was invented in 1863 by father and son team of coach builders in Paris, Pierre and Ernest Michaud. And it was the first commercially successful bicycle and began the evolution of modern bicycles.
I did end up hearing one of the stories, and the reason why I was asking about the mechanical is because the mechanically powered one, at least going by one story which I've heard in the past, was actually inspired by the train, and seeing how the pistons pushed around, and they figured they could try and shrink that down to a size to fit onto a bike. And thus came the first one where you could propel yourself with your own power.
Oh wow.
The Bone Shaker is the name given, was the name used up until from about 1869 up to the present day to refer to the first type of true bicycle which had pedals, which was at the time called a velocipede.
I love that name. It's such a good name.
It just feels like it needs a dinosaur head on his handlebars, doesn't it?
A long toenail.
Did anybody get the order right there?
Yes.
No.
Holy shit!
I got
Congratulations.
the order right. This is one of those bits of, I know that the microscope was necessary to make the light bulb. So it's a case of, I know that part. The part which I was really sort of stressing about was whether the light bulb came before the train or the train came before the light bulb.
And as
Yeah,
they're very
that was a
close
gamble.
together, they were very close together, that train and light bulb. Also, as Law says, velocipede is a much cooler name than bicycle.
Oh god, yeah.
I
should bring that back.
Angel,
Yeah.
on average, how much does an average person miss of an average movie because they're blinking?
Averagely.
Put 55 seconds because I'm not average.
Angel Mother.
3 minutes.
Ben.
I put down 9 minutes, because we blink a lot.
Rogue.
Considering that you've said all the other ones, I did put 3 minutes, but I'm guessing it's the
It is 15 minutes, yes.
Yeah.
No way we missed 15 minutes blinking. I absolutely refuse to believe that.
Well, it's one of the parts where the brain is a wonderful way of sort of taking out that information unless you focus on the fact that you're blinking. So you don't tend to notice all the times you actually blink. You will notice every now and again, especially when you start talking about blinking, when you'll really start to notice your eyes going.
Yeah.
But
one of the
beyond that, we blink without recognizing it because our brain is very good at constructing and telling the story while the eyes are closed.
Well, it's actually the same reason why one, movies work at all, and two,
Yes.
why animation works.
Exactly.
Because most modern movies are still shot at about a third of the rate that we actually can comprehend images, about 20 hertz. And the brain just unconsciously interpolates for you.
The average blink rate is somewhere between 12 and 15 times a minute.
I will say, one of the other things that we forgot to ask was, how long are they saying is the average movie?
Yeah, I can't believe that nobody actually questioned that one either, because it doesn't mention.
I did, John. Why early?
Okay, I must have edited that one out of my brain.
You don't need to feel self-conscious, my lady Law. You do not need to feel self-conscious.
I said, was it a James Cameron 3-hour epic or a 90-minute rom-com?
An average film. I don't know what they mean by that.
So I googled that whole thing about autistic blinking more, and so there was a test that was done where they had 41 2-year-olds with autism and 52. They say healthy controls here, which I'm not sure I like that terminology.
Yeah.
Whilst the children watched a short movie of 2 toddlers on a playground. Both groups blinked on average about 5 times per minute. But they differed significantly in how their blinking lined up with the content of the movie. Standard toddlers refrained from blinking as they watched scenes with high emotional content, such as when the toddlers fought about a toy. But toddlers with autism, in contrast, were just as likely to blink during emotional scenes as during dull ones.
Yeah, because they have no feelings.
Fuck you.
Happy
Question.
Mother's Day to me tomorrow.
Let's see who is next. It is Angel Mama. Which country has the most Olympic gold medals relative to the size of its population?
I had no idea, so I put Australia. Just because I live there.
Ben.
I put down Finland.
Rogue.
I put down Australia.
Angel.
I put the Bahamas.
You are correct.
Oh,
Well done, you.
because the answer I thought it wasn't on the list, so I put I chose the thing that was closest. Because I was initially thinking Jamaica, so
I genuinely was going with UK at first, because the UK is shockingly good at winning gold medals.
I was just thinking, trying to figure out size, considering that it was very distinctive per compared to how many people I have. It's like, okay, which one's the smallest?
Somehow I managed to get my answers on different lines between these last 2 questions.
Also, Milady Law, there's 3 more questions in this round. Milady Law, you are now conscious of the fact that you are breathing.
Oh, don't forget you're also now deeply conscious about your tongue is touching the top of your mouth.
Stop it! I can't
And
do
your
that.
heart is
guys.
keeping
Hold on,
you
no, no.
alive and beating with a distinct rhythm, the rhythm of your life, the rhythm that
Oh.
guides you, the rhythm that takes you. You have the rhythm inside you.
Did Mum tell you the other
This
day?
is the rhythm of the night. The night. Oh Lord.
You take back your forgiveness. Yeah.
Remember breathing.
Wait, if you've got sleep apnea, does that mean that you just don't have any rhythm at
She
night?
said, "Thank you for doing that. That was really, interesting that you did that breathing technique with her." And I was like, "Well,
Oh, my lady Law, I'll hug it out if you want.
we're missing the stream. That's
A
what we're
long, no blinking stare.
Oh no. If I don't wait, if I'm not here next month, I've been murdered.
Yes, but question 8, I need to turn to Ben.
Uh-huh.
Rogue.
How many bathtubs of snot does the average human produce in a lifetime?
I said the 22 bathtub one. If there was a 22 bathtub one.
There was a 29 bathtubs.
We'll go with a 29 bathtubs. It's 20-something anyway.
No. Rogue.
109 bathtubs?
Angel.
9.
Angel Mama.
209.
It is 209 bathtubs.
I refuse to believe that. No.
My lady Lord, please keep
vile.
breathing. Please keep breathing.
No, you can stop breathing. It saves me from being murdered.
Sticking your tongue
Approximately.
out's fine. That's fine, but
Does anybody have an answer for how many gallons of mucus that is?
I don't want to know.
I'm gonna
Too
guess
many.
somewhere in the 11 to 1200 gallons.
I have a feeling it would be more than that.
I'm guessing about 50 gallons of bathtub.
So apparently, doing a very quick Google search, the University of California, San Diego. If you don't want to know the answer, tune out now for a second. The average
But
human
come
will
back.
produce 6,500 gallons of mucus, most of which will drip, drain, or dribble down your throats unseen and unnoticed.
Oh god.
I don't know, the chunks sort of make them a bit more noticeable.
Right. Okay, that makes more sense. Because
An
I think
American
all of
college
us.
would research that.
No, I meant more that.
Give me
I meant.
It's not.
I meant more the. I meant more the fact that we went with such low numbers because, like, oh wait, yeah, we're thinking
you
of the
really
mucus that
should.
comes out.
Your ass outside.
Oh yeah, that's the point.
Question 9, I'm going to
Oh,
say.
I can't stop thinking about the mucus that's coming out of my mouth now. No,
Angel, what part of the body is the mandible?
The jaw?
Yes.
Yes.
yeah.
I have written down the lower jawbone, but yeah, the jaw. Ah.
I
Okay,
didn't
fair
know
enough.
that because I remember the whole bitten ants where they were talking about the insect mandible, and it was right there on the mouth.
And then finally, Angel Mama, the rate at which the body produces energy from nutrients is controlled by which gland?
Thyroid.
You are correct.
Oh damn, I went with hypothalamus.
No,
That's
that's
in your
the
brain, and it controls your temperature.
yeah. And you'd
Yeah.
know that if you'd seen Osmosis Jones.
Or had a daughter.
I have seen it a long time ago when I was a child.
Wasn't that long ago? I was a teenager when that movie came out.
Still a child by that count. Still
What,
a child until I turn
20
30.
years
Even
ago?
then I don't like that.
Gampcook, how much points did you get?
2. And it's all thanks to one question.
No mark.
4.
Did everybody just get the same Angel Feather?
I got 5, which puts me at 14.
And do you contain knowledge?
5, which puts me at 12.
Apparently you do this time.
Yeah. So we now move on to round number 3, which is Disney films.
Oh, Jennifer will kill this one.
Yeah, I guess I'm not picking the next round.
Ben, I think we need to start thinking of ideas.
Fucking round.
When you say we, I mean, really looking at the numbers, it's me.
4 points between us.
Question 1. What are the names of the 3 good fairies from Sleeping Beauty? I'll help the person in last place. You get a point for each name.
Wait, no, that won't help the person in last place. I'll help Jennifer.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to say yeah. It's already 3 points for me.
I used to be good at Disney trivia.
Well, I've got some interesting Disney trivia tonight, so we'll see how you do.
I used to be to the point where people wouldn't play the Disney trivia or Trivial Pursuit with me.
I mean, admittedly, I'm only good at the animated stuff. So once he starts moving into live action stuff, you guys have just as equal shot. So
This is all animated films.
okay, you're
I
fucked.
was gonna say, start asking questions about Herbie. Those I might know.
Knobs and broomsticks.
See, I want my
Question-
quiz round where people just go, right, here's the Latin round, and just push it across the table to me.
Question 2. What are the gifts that the 3 good fairies give to Aurora? Welcome back, Sir Droobles, at least for a little bit. Welcome to Disney. Not on ice, just Disney trivia. Reebles has returned home from, I'm assuming, the cafe. Disney on quizzes.
I actually have a little funny tidbit about that one when we do the answers. No, but when we do the answers.
Question 3. Who is the only Disney villain to never actually appear on screen in their Disney film?
Ooh.
Who is the only Disney villain to never actually appear on screen in their respective Disney film?
Oh.
You okay there, Ben?
Oh, God.
You're making sounds like unstable plumbing.
The gears are turning somewhere in there.
No. No.
See, this is the problem is I love Disney villain songs, so I can only think of the films where there are villains that you see.
It appears to have turned into a tennis match now.
Oh, I love that. Ben is the audiobook of Milady Laws in a voice.
Right.
Oh, I don't know. It might have come an abacus.
Oh God.
Would you like question 3 to put your mind at ease?
No, not
question
yet.
4.
Question 3.
That was question 3. I could give you question 3 again. Question 4. Patrick Stewart has said that turning down voicing this Disney character is the greatest regret of his film career.
Oh my God.
Patrick Stewart has said that turning down voicing this Disney character was the greatest, or is the greatest regret of his film career.
Oh God, who would you cast Patrick Stewart as?
I don't think Law's onto the right lines with that one. Spider's Man. I mean, as we'll get to when I get to the answers, you'll find that they really wanted Patrick Stewart to voice someone. But we'll get there when I get to the trivia answers.
Well, right
Oh,
now
no.
they're trivia guesses. Because none of us have a freaking clue.
I've got the intro to bloody Hercules in my head now. Specifically, Along Came Zeus.
And then along came Zeus, he hurled his thunderbolt.
Oh God, it's such a good song.
That movie is way too. It should not be as good as it is because it is just a mess of a movie. But I love it.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
it's use of
Hercules
the mythology
is so
is
good.
Hercules is such a good film. Its use of the mythology makes no sense. You've got
Yeah.
random ass gospel choir being the muses, which is so good. You've got Hades, who in no way resembles actual Hades, but
And then you
being
have
played
the
as some
Roman
sort of like
Christ.
cheesy car salesman. I love it. So dumb.
I mean,
Well, the funny thing. Oh, sorry.
the biggest thing, like, you know, the gospel choir, the Hades car salesman, the biggest thing they got wrong is Zeus and Hera have a happy marriage.
Oh, that's true.
Very true.
Them doting on Hercules would be such a good bit.
Yeah.
No. The greatest
sure
problem with that one is that it shouldn't be Hercules, it's Heracles.
Well, I
You're
mean,
going by the Greek story, not the Roman.
and Hercules is the only son.
See, the
And
reality
we're
is
also
Hercules
cultured-
is what happens if you take the Greek myth and put it in New York. You'd have basically the same story, the same cast.
Oh, no, I'm not getting that one. Hercules in New York. No. Out to the head. Back to Disney.
Called Nostalgia Chick, and she did a whole video essay on Hercules, and she said if you look at it from the standpoint of the story it's a combination of Rocky and Hercules, Rocky and
Oh
Superman.
God, it
Except
really is.
Superman isn't given any reason to keep people safe other than fame, and Rocky doesn't have an ultimate battle he's fighting for.
And neither of them sacrifice themselves by jumping into hell.
Question
Yeah,
5.
Thank you.
Question 5. Disney has won 14 Academy Awards for Best Original Song. Can you name any of those songs?
Did we just discuss one of those songs?
Maybe. Disney has won 14 Academy Awards for Best Original Song. For a point, name one of them. You don't have to name all 14. I have a list of all 14, and I will tell you what they are when we get to the answers, but can you name any of the songs that have won a Academy Award for Best Original Song? Rebels thinks they know one.
I think I know a couple, so I'm going to write down all the ones I think I know, and hope one of them is right.
Are we just getting 1 point for this, or
You get 1 point if you get one of them right. I'm not giving out 14 points if you manage to get all of them. Oh, you wouldn't manage to get all of them. I mean, I'm not gonna...
Angel words.
No, actually, this is one I'm not very confident on.
At some point, this is just going to be the songs that I love.
So,
come
Drew,
on,
the question is, Disney has won 14 Academy Awards for Best Original Song. Name any of those songs.
But what's the name of that one?
Yeah, it's like I can see him in my head, but what's the fucking name? That was an Ucken.
That's not even Disney, Ben. Why are you thinking about that one? Oh.
Rule of thumb, if it's a line in the chorus, it's probably the title.
Are you still working out number 3, Ben?
Yes.
I thought so.
Oh
No, you see the. No, okay. No.
Broken man.
He's now scrolling. He's now scrolling through Disney Plus brain.
This is what it's like when your mind palace is external.
It's very voice actor, to be fair. It's very voice actor too.
Oh,
Rogue's lost his marbles.
You know,
no,
having
I just have the giggles. My mind was lost a long time ago.
Question
marbles, look at mine.
6. Question 6. Which Disney movie was the first to have a soundtrack album?
Album.
Yes.
Ooh.
Which Disney movie was the first to have a soundtrack album?
So you're
Batman
talking
Returns.
first to have a soundtrack released on CD?
No.
Just an album.
A separate retail item that was the soundtrack. Correct?
Correct.
Okay, back to that one.
God, this round has thoroughly just infested my brain
I
with
should have
Disney
rewatched
tunes.
the Nostalgia Critic Disney-sember. They do it so much better.
I have a
I
fun fact or a cute fact about Academy Awards and Disney, which probably everybody knows, but I still think it's cute.
I've got Arabian's Nights in my head now. Oh, actually, no, never mind. Better one from the same film. What's NVR? Rebels, what is NVR?
No, not that one.
Law says, I want to take clips of Ben and replace random conductors.
Oh. No.
Apparently, Rebel says it was their pocket.
You pocket NVR'd us. Scandalous.
Question 7.
No.
Oh, Drew says you'll never know, and then I thought I was being clever. Question 7. The 3 gargoyles in The Hunchback of Notre Dame are called Hugo, Laverne, and Victor. Who are they named after? Drew says, no, it's Goliath, Brooklyn, and Bronx.
No, those are different gargoyles, my love.
I will say one thing which I do love about Hunchback of Notre Dame. In the Hunchback of Notre Dame, you can see in one of his opening songs, Belle walking through Notre Dame, through Paris.
And
They put Easter eggs in most of their movies.
That's my fact.
In that same scene, if you look on one of the balconies, there's a woman shaking at a rug, and it's carpet from Aladdin.
They do that one a lot. It's in The Princess and the Frog as well.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody shakes out their rug, and it's
In one of the
carpet.
crowd scenes in one of the movies, there's Goofy. Mickey and Donald show up in another crowd.
I just love the idea that, like, in the crowd during Hellfire, you've just got Donald Duck in the background.
I think isn't it one of the Frozen films you can see supposedly see Rapunzel and Flynn Rider.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
When they're walking towards the castle.
Yeah.
When first open the doors.
Question 8. What is the only Disney song to win a Grammy Award for Song of the Year? The Wild Wild West theme. No.
Wow, wow, West, Jim West, Desperado.
Rough Rider. No, you don't
You don't want none of this.
Oh God,
Movies that I enjoy and not expect it to go on.
that's such a good movie.
With the Wild
Like,
Wild
it's a
West.
terrible movie, but a great movie.
With the wicked Wild Wild West. Jim West.
It's so bad
Desperado.
that Will Smith actually publicly released an apology for being involved in it.
I think he turned from the Matrix for that role.
He did, and he says it's the worst decision he ever made in his life.
Love us. Oh God, I just love it all. The aesthetic, the nonsense it's just so dumb and good.
What I love about that movie is
Oh.
the director he was
Oh.
originally slated to film a Superman movie.
Yes,
And he had
Drew,
did-
this
Oh.
story that Jennifer's sharing.
Oh.
Yeah, that's this story.
Oh.
The director
Oh.
was going to film a Superman movie. He had 3 conditions. 1, he didn't want him in the Superman suit. 2, he didn't want him to fly. And 3, he had to fight a giant spider in the 3rd act.
I will interrupt you, Jennifer, and say that the director, who is Kevin Smith, who my brother is referring to,
Oh.
he wasn't wanting those things, but he was told that he could only do the Superman film if they didn't have the cape, if he didn't fly, and if he fought a spider.
Was
he
it
was-
the producer?
He was being told by the producer that it's weird that he has a cape, it's weird he flies, and let's not do that, and he'll fight a giant spider in the
In the 3rd act.
3rd act.
Just to.
And that producer went on to go and produce The Wild West.
Where he got his giant spider.
I mean, I'm happy that he got a giant spider, but did anyone clip Ben's epiphany moment just then? That was magnificent.
I hope that we've got a lot of clips.
I hope that I got it right, but this is the only one I can think of that you don't see the villain. Or at least I can't remember you seeing the villain.
Oh.
Sir Drupal says the producer used to be a hairdresser.
Nothing
I
wrong with
believe
that.
it.
He really should have learnt to clip things out of his films at that point then, really.
Boo.
The guy who directed The Fifth Element, wasn't he a fashion designer?
That explains a lot.
Luke Benson?
Yeah, Luc Besson, yeah.
Oh God, wait. Oh, what's the character's voice that I think Chris Tucker plays?
Yes! Ruby Rod.
God, he's so good.
Oh man, he ate those scenes. It was so good.
That scenery was thoroughly just nom 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 nom.
We need to just have a round on shitty but enjoyable movies.
Okay, no, we actually just need to
Remember
have
the
a
bit
stream
London,
which is
yeah.
just us watching clips from awful movies that are utterly amazing.
We
I
have
know.
discussed that sort of a thing. It's difficult to
Oh,
work out how to do it. He apparently, Luc Besson, because I've looked him up for some reason, completely unrelated to anything we're discussing, he originally wanted to be a marine biologist.
Well, that's an interesting career path. Marine biologist, fashion designer, movie director.
Whatever puts food on the table.
I mean, do they call that career ADHD? I'm not sure.
He had at 17 he had a diving accident that left him unable to dive, and he had to pursue another career and decided,
Shame.
I like pictures, and went to make films.
Apparently, Milady Law also wanted to be a marine biologist, and I've got a lot of respect for that. But I've got to ask, can you scuba dive?
I mean, I assume that's something that you look into at some point in
take
that.
lessons, yeah.
I nearly got lost by my maths teacher when scuba diving. That was a very weird moment.
I wanted to be a paleontologist, and then I realized how much science was involved, and I realized that I am not smart or patient enough to do that.
Question 9. Which voice actor sang Beauty and the Beast from the 1991 film Beauty and the Beast?
I can't remember her real name. I do know which character she played.
Law says, I just realised I have phobias about that, and I was really good swimmer, yeah.
Oh no, marine biology and thalassophobia is not a good combination. It's a fantastic premise for a horror game in Subnautica, but not a good combination for a marine biologist.
Oh, this is gonna annoy the hell out of me because I watch a TV show too.
And finally, question 10. Flotsam and Jetsam are the name of the eels that work for Ursula in The Little Mermaid. But what are they named after? Flotsam and Jetsam are the name of the eels that work for Ursula in My Little Mermaid? No, that's My Little Pony. In The Little Mermaid. What are Flotsam and Jetsam? What are they named after?
Okay, no, but okay, I need to just point out, Milady Law, that ain't a weird phobia to be like, oh yeah, I'm just swimming in the ocean, la di da di da. Thing the size of a truck appears and opens its eye. No, that is entirely valid to be scared of.
I mean,
Like that's right up there with dragon lands in front of you and you go, fuck.
I mean, that depends. If you're scared of that, and you're just like out and about, and you're worried about an eye just opening up on the street, like that's probably not gonna happen. But yeah, if you're out and about diving in the water and eye,
If it's the small things you really got to be scared about in the ocean, because like that's how me and like 20 other people got basically our entire bodies stung by jellyfish. It turns out when they, for lack of a better term, breed, and you go swimming where tiny baby jellyfish exist, they're in entire strings of themselves. And so you find yourself wrapped up in strings of jellyfish. And that stings.
And this is why I only swim in pools now.
I don't think there's much of a contest in there, Sir Drupals.
we're happy to have you
Wow.
on to another quiz if you want in the future. You can be here from the start and see if you can beat someone.
You're relishing the fact that you could possibly just crush your brother, aren't you?
Yes, always. That's what I live for in life. Question 1. I'm going to go to Angel because they'll give me the right answer, probably. What are the names of the 3 good fairies from Sleeping Beauty?
Flora, fauna, and Merryweather.
Correct.
I'm guessing
And you
blue.
said
You won't give us
it
points for blue, pink, and green.
1 point
No.
each, right?
That is 1 point each, yes.
Awesome.
You won the last time you were involved, yes.
Look,
Yeah,
I know I'm the little brother, but like,
Rebel says you'd understand if you were an elder sibling.
yeah, I know I'm being called out. I'm sorry that I've got that I am the little brother of my family.
Wasn't Rogue in that quiz?
I was.
Angel Mama.
Yeah.
Angel Mama, what are the gifts that the 3 fairies give to Aurora?
The gift of beauty.
Yep.
She will be loved by all or patients, and she will fall into a deep sleep rather than die when she pricks her finger.
2 out of 3 are what I've got listed down. Ben.
I got beauty and also not dying and instead of going to sleep until true love's kiss. As for the third,
Just one movie. She will be loved by all.
That might be the live action one, but the animated one's different.
Oh, maybe that's one.
yeah, when it came down to, I went blank when it came down to the third. So yeah, I can't even think of a guess to throw in there. I'm not. I reckon it'd be something around true love, but I have no idea.
Rogue.
Yeah.
Do I get anything for beauty, grace, and protection?
I'll give a point for beauty. I'll give a point for the deep sleep. So instead of dying, apparently the other one is song.
You didn't ask me.
Angel, what was it? Is it song?
Yes.
The gift of song. Yeah, I remembered after
Mine is the gift of beauty. Mine is the gift of song. And then she's about to give her gift, and Maleficent pimps in and goes, "Well, you didn't invite me, so fuck you."
Gonna
And then
kill
she
your
goes-
baby.
Now, okay, so a couple of funny facts. First one is, in one of the original tellings, there were actually 12 fairies, and the evil fairy wasn't an evil fairy. The royal
She was the 13th.
She was the 13th, and they only had 12
12
golden
golden
plates.
And that's why she wasn't invited.
So she was all like, "Well, if you're not going to invite me."
That
Fuck you.
takes a little bit longer for the Disney film, though. Like, you can't have that many primary coloured fairies
No.
showing up.
Well,
But we know the original stories because we actually read them.
But
Well-
one of the funniest things I ever heard was a girl. She was talking about the Sleeping Beauty movie, and she was talking about the gifts of the three fairies, and she goes, "Beauty and song is great, but I probably would have gone for something like political savvy, the ability to make good trade deals."
Natural leader.
I mean, that's probably like fairies 4 through 6. Like,
So useful as a
Yeah.
mark.
Am I
So-
getting this right? That we're getting a point for the ones we got right.
yes.
Good. Thank God for
fu-
that.
Fun fact: Maleficent is actually entirely justified for just barging in and all this because in the cultural norms of sort of the time the story is ostensibly
Set.
meant to have happened. Because she is a significant, notable person, it is actually directly an insult not to invite someone of that station.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So,
They
let
should
alone
make
not.
a gold bloody plate.
And like even just like, yeah, you're invited. Can you confirm that you're coming? Oh, you're not coming? Right, cool. We're gonna be good on plates. If you are coming, is it okay if we give you a
RSVP to
pewter
this
one?
message.
We only have 12 gold plates.
You're
And
gonna
the
need to share
last
with
one's
someone
in the
next door
shop.
to you. Right?
Our RSVP will need to sort out plates. If you're coming, that's great. We just need to know beforehand. Like, just give us a week or so to organise a gold plate.
We ran out of plates, so you get a bowl instead.
Oh,
Yeah, I think Milady
Please say I
Law.
got this right.
I think Milady Law's like the 11th fairy is like the gift of not snoring or farting in her sleep. Ben, who is the only Disney villain never to actually appear on screen?
Oh no!
oh,
Was that intentional, John?
I definitely didn't look at the order of these questions and pick it out so that Ben got to answer this one. No. What's
I forgot the question and answered the wrong thing.
okay? What's the film? What is
I
the bit that
put
you?
down the aristocrats.
I'm afraid to say you're wrong.
Oh.
Yeah, the butler's in that movie quite significantly.
Rogue.
So, I've gone with Chernobog because my understanding is that there are 2 villains in Anastasia, and Rasputin's there, but Chernobog isn't.
Anastasia isn't a Disney movie.
It's not.
I don't need to be pedantic for this one.
Okay,
Yeah, it's not a Disney film.
fair enough. That's how much I was struggling. I ended up going for Anastasia. Who makes Anastasia?
It's widely thought
Don
of as a
Bluth.
Disney film, but yeah, it's a Don Bluth film who can draw like 3 men.
That's because Don Bluth basically ripped off the Disney formula because his movies had been tanking after The Little Mermaid came out.
The best part of the whole thing is it just proves that, yeah, he's right. Disney does it so much better. Just by making it look like Disney, it made it better.
Angel, who is the only Disney villain to not appear in their film?
Oh my god, so I couldn't think of one that doesn't appear, so I went with Taka in Moana because she's only kind of there at the end, and she doesn't directly interact with anybody.
So
Angel
that's
Mother.
A Pixar?
I put the ringmaster in Dumbo because someone's got to be mean to those elephants, and we never see the ringmaster.
No, Ben, that is a Disney film, Moana.
Ah, fair enough.
It's Bambi is the correct answer. It's man. We never actually see him. We see the effect of him.
No, because he's just a dude
Shooting,
being a dude.
shooting for venison.
Yeah.
I think my answer's better.
I mean, your answer's good.
I mean, technically. I mean, no, being this own
I mean,
concept.
when you say villain,
was
my
gonna
mind
say-
goes to, like someone being actively evil.
But no, I mean, it's the villain towards Bambi. So
Yeah, he's definitely the villain of the film.
His mother.
I mean,
so-
that just feels like. I'm not saying that you're wrong, John, but whoever wrote the quiz was kind of reaching with that one.
I mean, you can't argue that man is not the villain of that film. Like, he shoots Bambi's mum.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Man shoots
Whatever
for
he-
venison. I mean,
Whatever he was doing, he might not be the villain in his own story, but we're not seeing his story. We're seeing the deer of...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I guess.
Also,
Well,
apparently, the trivia fact for this question, man in the forest became a code phrase used at Disney for when Walt Disney was walking the halls.
Oh,
Well, yeah, I mean, you cannot trust that.
he's a rough man.
He was an asshole, but like they really tried to make him seem like a nice guy in that Mary Poppins movie, didn't they?
Fun fact as well,
Agree.
though, a lot of pictures of him at Disneyland have been photoshopped to remove the cigarette he's holding,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah,
they just
so-
have him do a 2-finger point.
Yeah, it just points instead.
And so
Even on
apparently,
some of his statues.
yeah, Disneyland employees are taught to do the 2-finger point to show off how Walt Disney used to point at things.
Right out to
Which
the front,
he
right.
didn't, because he had a cigarette. But anyway,
I
Didn't
think
they
like the
all?
other side of things when it comes down to it was confirmed that the hunter which you see at the very beginning of Beauty and the Beast is the hunter from Bambi.
I mean, I guess that's also why it says he doesn't appear in his own Disney film.
Yeah.
He appears in someone else's. Rogue.
Oh no.
Patrick Stewart has said that turning down this Disney character was the greatest regret of his film career.
I literally have no idea, so I put down Hades.
No. Angel.
Good.
I didn't know either, so I guessed the Basil Baker Street from The Great Mouse Detective.
Angel Mama.
Ooh.
King Triton.
Interesting fact, I'll come back to that one, but unfortunately not a point.
Yes.
Ben.
It was
I
just
think it could seem that the Lion King was based off of Hamlet, but they probably would have asked him to be Scar.
No.
Ooh.
Angel Mama, what were you going to say?
the genie from Aladdin.
It is a character from Aladdin that is his greatest regret. He was apparently asked to play Jafar.
Oh my
Oh.
god.
And his greatest regret is turning down voicing Jafar. He, as I said earlier, Disney really wanted him to do a voice, apparently, but he had to keep turning them down because the scheduling conflicted with Star Trek The Next Generation. But he apparently would have been voicing... they approached him to voice Zazu in The Lion King, Governor Ratcliffe in Pocahontas, Zeus in Hercules, King Triton in The Little Mermaid, and Cogsworth in Beauty and the Beast.
Maybe that's why I had King Triton on the brain. 'cause
Yeah,
I'd read
it's... Apparently, they just really wanted him to come and do a damn voice for them.
No offense to Patrick Stewart, but all of those characters were fantastically voiced
They
in cast,
were.
Oh
They
god,
were.
yeah.
and I
Yes.
think he possibly would have done a worse job.
I mean, I feel like he would have voiced, and he would have been a good voice, but the voices we got are really good.
Yeah.
And Jafar's actor was so slimy and perfect, and I cannot see Patrick Stewart
Getting
capturing
that slime, yeah.
You know, I mean,
He's always the good guy, or generally, but
For this,
Yeah.
actually, let's go through this. Let's start with Ben.
Uh-huh.
What songs have you got written down?
Well, considering that we're only really going to get 1 point for this, for the sake of things, I end up going with brew I thought would be a safe bet. Can you feel the love tonight?
Correct.
Sure.
You get a point. Rogue.
I've got Strangers Like Me, Friends on the Other Side, Hellfire, Gospel Truth, Arabian Nights, and Friend Like Me. Please tell me at least one of those gets a point.
I don't believe so, but I'll read out all the answers in a minute, and if I didn't get one, if I didn't find the one that you have written down, you can get yourself a point in a minute. Angel.
I did put down Can You Feel the Love as well, but I also put down Beauty and the Beast, Under the Sea, and Friend Like Me.
Beauty and the Beast is on this list. Under the Sea is on this list. Friend Like Me isn't.
So
Wow.
weird, 'cause
Is
Robin
Color of the
Williams-
Wind?
Colors of the Wind is on the list.
good, because I
Yeah.
put that one down.
Angel Mama.
So I put down Call of the Wind and Under the Sea, but I also put down the Aladdin one where they're on the frickin' run.
A Whole New
A Whole
World.
New World.
Whole New World.
That
And
is
then
also on the list, yes.
And then I also put Make a Man Out of You from Mulan, because I just had to write it because it's a good freaking song.
Yes.
That one is not on the list.
Well, it should be.
Because it's good.
But the full list, the 14 winners are, and Rogue, listen up just in case I missed it. When You Wish Upon a Star from Pinocchio.
Of course.
Zippity Doo Dah Day from Songs of the South.
Yeah.
Chim Chim Cheree from Mary Poppins. Beauty and the Beast from Beauty and the Beast. Can You Feel the Love Tonight from The Lion King. If I Didn't Have You from Monsters, Inc. Under the Sea from The Little Mermaid. A Whole New World from Aladdin. Colours of the Wind from Pocahontas. We Belong Together from Toy Story 3. Man or Muppet from The Muppets. You'll Be in My Heart from Tarzan. Was that the one you said, Rogue?
No, I said Stranger Like Me.
Dang it.
Which
Let
is
It
also
Go.
from Tarzan.
Right,
Let It Go from Frozen, and Remember Me from Coco.
I feel like I've
That's a
named
great
every
one.
great song from Disney that didn't win a fucking award.
As much as sounds that way.
That whole
Like-
movie.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Stranger Like Me is the better Tarzan song.
I've watched it once, and I can't watch it not because it's a bad movie, but because I'm not going to be able to get through it without falling.
Well, sometimes you just have to fall.
And to be fair, when it comes down to it, You'll Be in My Heart was probably one of the greater ones as well.
Well, I mean, it was
Phil Collins.
Phil Collins, and he did so much better with Tarzan than he did with the Brother Bear songs.
Mm.
I do not think he should have been used for Brother Bear, but he did amazing on Tarzan.
He's like on death's door right now, so.
Drew says, you named a bunch of amazing songs, but none of the main songs of the films. Rogue, which is where
I'm sorry, no. Hellfire is easily the best song in
Oh,
Hunchback of
God.
Notre Dame. And, like,
Unfor-
that should have awards. If that doesn't have awards, I'm hurt. But it's also one of the- it's like-
yeah,
it's like It's also the only Disney song that you can't just sort of, like, hum quietly to yourself. Because that's something that you need to stand up in your
Belt
room
out.
and belt.
Yeah.
Well, I think the reason it didn't get nominated because it is basically about religious frustration, sexual tension, and personal Persecution.
Persecution.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
so
dark
It
as
was
hell.
such a longer song though,
oh god.
because I could listen to that sucker for like 8 verses.
But that's only half the song, because the bit that Quasimodo sings is actually the first half of the song.
Yeah.
They are one song together.
Both
that's-
both Drew and Rebels are mad that no one said "Let It Go."
All right, guys, let it go. We didn't get your guess.
Angel,
Yes.
which Disney movie was the first to have a soundtrack album?
I thought it was Snow White, because I know it was released on the gramophone thingies.
You are correct. It was Snow White. The soundtrack.
Sorry.
The soundtrack was released in 1937. It featured 2 songs that weren't even in the film. Music in Your Soup, which had a completely animated sequence, though it hadn't been inked and painted before being deleted from the film. And You're Never Too Old to Be Young, which was replaced by The Silly Song.
I must admit, I thought that it was something they did retroactively after it took off with another soundtrack going on.
No, apparently they went straight in there with it.
So we got 3 points. We got 3 answers. Okay, sorry, I'm getting my points mixed up.
Angel Mama. The gargoyles in Hunchback of Notre Dame are named Hugo, Laverne, and Victor. Who are they named after?
Victor Hugo, the author.
That is Victor and Hugo, but who is Laverne named after?
I thought it was his wife.
Ben?
Well, evidently not the Marx Brothers.
Well, consider that, yeah.
The
Those
only
2
other
were
bird
the
I know
author.
is the
I
bird
just
with
have
the
no
perfect
idea.
bird.
I put down the studio
No.
directors, so I'm completely
Yeah.
wrong.
That's what I'm thinking. It was someone to do with the studio. But go ahead.
Rogue?
I put the Marx Brothers, which is clearly not right.
Laverne is named after Laverne Andrews.
Who is...
Miss Andrews and her sisters Patty and Maxine were one of the most successful women's singing groups of the early 30s through to 37. They scored their first big hit with Bei mir bist du schon, in addition to Boogie Woogie Boogle Boy,
Oh, God.
which you may recognise.
What a name!
Oh my God.
The Andrew
Sorry.
sisters, Boogie Boogie Boy
Yeah.
of Company.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Laverne is named after.
So do I get half a point for Victor Hugo?
I'll give a point for Victor and Hugo. I think that's majority of the gargoyles named. And as was mentioned earlier, when Quasimodo sings "Out There," you can see Belle walking through the streets of Paris.
I'll give you a really, really weird fact. I actually started reading it in the original French. It's
I
hard to
haven't.
read.
Because you're a go hard or go home kind of person.
Yeah, well, I've also read Grey's Anatomy, and I'm not talking about the bloody TV show. I'm talking about the actual book.
What?
I was just
Why
waiting for
would-
a final twist on that whole. I'm reading the original. It's in French. It's very hard to read because I don't read French.
Why are
No,
you
that-
reading
no,
an
that was just
anatomical
the caveat
journal?
there, Ben.
Why are you reading an anatomy journal?
Because she was going to be a forensic pathologist and cut open dead people for a living.
Because I'm fascinated by the human body, and the fact that mine doesn't work properly gives me
The vapors.
Ben.
gives.
I gotta go now. I've just heard about someone cutting people up.
That's very cool.
I always thought it was.
Angel Mama
What?
was going to wait until they were dead first, Ben. It's fine.
I would wait until there was literally no sign of life, and then I'd dig into them with a knife.
So basically-
and 2 slabs of large bread.
So
And a nice
basically,
Chianti.
when
Yeah,
there are no
exactly.
witnesses, basically.
And yes, Laura, it is also the person who has superfluous bones.
You're getting popular online. You have
Uh,
a fan base now.
Yes, I have a fan.
Ben,
Everybody, you watch your stream.
Mhm.
What is the
Ben.
only Disney song to win a Grammy Award for Song of the Year?
Well, I put once again, Can You Feel the Love Tonight?
Rogue.
I put Strangers Like Me.
Angel.
I am stuck between Beauty and the Beast and Let It Go.
And Angel Mama.
You've Got a Friend in Me, Toy Story.
Sadly, it was A Whole New World.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
I can dig that.
Yeah. Rogue. Which
Don't. I'm already doing badly.
which voice actor sang Beauty and the Beast from Beauty and the Beast?
I don't know the name, but I think it's the same person who was the tea lady.
Well, you're right there. It is Mrs. Potts.
But he kind of wants a name.
I don't know.
Angel?
I know it's the same person.
Yeah,
I
I
was
know
like-
the lady who played Mrs. Potts, and she was also in Murder, She Wrote, but I cannot remember her fucking name.
Angela Lansbury.
It's
is
Angela
around.
Lansbury. She almost didn't. She didn't think her voice was good enough, and she was going to get them to have somebody else come in and sing the song.
But she didn't want to try.
She didn't even want to try, no. She wanted somebody else to sing it, and they convinced her to... She didn't feel that her voice suited the melody, and initially declined, and they were going to bring somebody else in. And then she was persuaded to give it a try, and she nailed it in one take.
My favorite part is that they pretty much just ended up saying that we're going to use that. Rather than we like it, we want to use that, we're going to use that.
But I love that she sang it though, because they do that kind of pop male female remix in the credits. But I like the Angela Lansbury one because that matronly bit of it.
Yeah.
It's like in the movie scene. It's somebody who loves them both watching this progress. It's not from their point of view. It's the people around them who are seeing the growth of these two people in love. And I feel like that's why the duet version doesn't work.
Mrs. Potts is just the best.
Oh god, yeah.
I want a Mrs. Potts in my life.
You just want someone who's going to take care of your house and make you tea
There is that.
or coffee.
There is that.
No, does Mrs. Potts
Wait,
do
isn't
coffee?
that your job?
I technically really shouldn't be able to.
Anyway, Angel. Flotsam and Jetsam are the name of the eels that work for Ursula. What are they named after?
It's a type of ocean debris, isn't it?
It is.
Flotsam is what floats in the water. Jetson is what's jettisoned from boats.
Correct.
Okay, point.
Yeah, I'll give you a bonus point for that one. I'll give you I'll give a
job.
point for it is wreckage. I'll give you a bonus point for correctly naming what the two are. Flotsam is anything that has floated out of a wreck and is now floating in the water. Jetsam is for things that they have thrown overboard to try and lighten the load of a ship that might be having some trouble.
Or flush down the loop.
But yeah, Flotsam specifically floats. There are other words for it if it doesn't float. I don't know what they are at the moment. But let me grab the points and...
I got 4.
You keep doubling.
I'm going to start thinking of an idea for next time.
You might
Bro.
not need to because
No,
I
Mark.
only got 3.
Ooh.
Oh, I did good.
Angel Feather.
I got 10, which put me at 24.
And do you contain knowledge?
11, which puts me at 23.
Good job.
Ooh, it's getting close for top spot.
Wow. It's because I got Angela Lansbury. Yeah, that caught me up to the 3 fairy
Yeah.
dishes thing. Yeah.
Yeah, getting those 2 3-pointers is the only reason I did relatively well in that.
Yeah, I got 11 out of 10. It's clever.
I love how it's close at the top and at the bottom.
Yeah. The middle bit, there's, there's...
A gap.
I'm afraid to say that you're not catching up.
No. You two just gonna like nap and take it and just chill out for the next round.
Yeah, if you want to go to bed early, you guys can go now, and we'll just do these two for the last round.
I'll go to bed early. Dogs still need to go out and pee.
Yeah.
I have a list of Shakespeare quotes. I want to know what play they are from. I don't want to know who said them. I just want to know what play the quote comes from. So that should come a little bit easier, I think.
You have too much faith.
Oh, it's easier than saying I need to know which character said it and which act it's in, and...
Can we just say whether or not it's Shakespeare? We know they're all from Shakespeare. Can we just say whether or not they're from Shakespeare?
Drew says, "Remember how I said I could I join the quiz? Remember that? Yeah, I remember that, Drew.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know why your aim was to beat me, though. I mean, lowest of the low. You really want to beat me. Is that the point?
I forgot my fun fact for Disney Academy Awards, and I'm sure you're all aware of this, but I think it's very sweet. When White won Best Picture, they created 7 little Academy Awards to represent the dwarves. I thought that was so cute. Back in the day when the Academy Awards was done stylishly and their speeches were about 2 sentences long.
Yeah,
I just want to thank the Academy, and I can't believe this is just too much. Thank you.
Yeah, and you couldn't buy an Academy Award by sending the judges enormous swag bags full of Rolex watches. Shit.
1 second, let me see if I can do this. Let's see if this will work. Downloads.
Trying to put the Academy Awards in, are we?
There it is. There is the Snow White Academy Award.
Yep.
There it is.
I'm being dragged ruthlessly in the chat.
I think they used to have more gold in them too.
Yeah, well, that and the gold
Medals for the Olympics, yeah.
Okay, so let's get some Shakespeare quotes and see if you can name what play they're from.
No.
Oh boy, let's see.
Cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste the taste of death but once. Cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste of death but once. Apparently Ree has 50 points.
I'm just being I'm being dragged by the person who I was maid of honor for this time a year ago.
Oh god, yeah.
brutally dragged.
Gotta be right.
Yeah, right. I think
I know Shakespeare plays.
Question 2. Be not afraid of greatness. Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and others have greatness thrust upon them.
Spider-Man quote.
Where do you think they stole it from?
Yeah, no. Oh god, that's...
Sword and Stone.
That famous Shakespeare play.
Yeah, Shakespeare, Sword in the Stone is fabulous for its time.
Oh, I saw a fantastic character build for a D&D character the other day. And the idea was, basically, it's a barbarian who tried to pull the sword from the stone. But, obviously, they're not the chosen king, so it's just the sword with the stone on the end of it that they're using as a hammer.
Brilliant.
I love that... I've
Jack Horner.
I've seen a webcomic where it's a goblin imp thing is taunting a barbarian saying, "You need to kill me with this sword, but you can't draw it from the stone."
Oh, yeah.
And the barbarian just picks up the imp and slams him into the sword.
You said I just needed to use the sword. You didn't
Didn't
say
say how.
And this, everyone who's watching, is the value of lateral thinking.
Yes, my favourite one is the case of the person who pulls the sword with the rock on the other end, holds it above his head and says, "All right, who's going to contest? But I'm now the king because I have the sword." Seriously, who would fight that? It's a, yeah, you know what, buddy, you got this. You
Yeah,
got
the lady in the lake is all like, that's not quite what I meant, but I'm not gonna fight you on it.
Nah, Lady of the Lake's just sitting on a stone, just going, whew!
I now
And just
want to
lighting a
rewrite
cigarette.
a fantasy version where effectively an orc goes through the storyline of each of the Arthurian legends and it just forces it instead.
No, not just Arthurian legends. Let's go every Disney movie, but the main character is an orc. Belle in Beauty and the Beast, orc. Ariel from The Little Mermaid, orc.
I just wait for the point when it comes down to the spindle, just picks it up and throws it
Speaking of
instead.
Little Mermaid, DreamWorks has done it again, and they haven't done this in years. You remember how back in the 90s they were challenging Disney and making Disney ripoff films? They are releasing, now that Disney is officially releasing their live action Little Mermaid, they're releasing a movie called Ruby Scales Teenage Kraken.
I've seen the trailer for that. It looks good.
Yep.
The villain is basically Ariel if she was the bad guy in The Little Mermaid. And I love it. She's got long red hair and a green tail, and she's a mermaid. It's the best. And her weapon is a trident. It's the best thing ever. But it is clearly DreamWorks capitalizing on the fact that Disney's releasing their live-action Little Mermaid.
Question
And the
3.
level of funniness.
Question 3. All the world's a stage and all the men and women merely players.
No.
All the world's a stage and all the men and women merely players.
I hate this one specifically because that's one of those quotes that everyone knows is Shakespeare, but it's like what bloody but I didn't realize it was actually associated with a specific play.
I actually think I know this one.
Uh-oh.
I'm just gonna go to bed. I've done so badly this quiz.
I'm probably wrong, but I think I know it. You okay? Are you gonna last till the end of the round? Okay.
Question 4.
Can you
All
die on the
that-
toilet so I don't bleed out?
All that glisters is not gold.
What would the orc remake of Tarzan be like?
Fairly similar.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think he would fit in a lot better with the gorillas. Just imagine that whole first part with the first screaming match and just yeah, gorillas, no, you're silverback, you're silverback.
I mean, he'd probably have less trouble killing a leopard.
Yeah.
I don't think Clayton would survive for too long.
Although you couldn't have strangers like me in the film. It would be sad.
Strangers not like me.
Strangers a little bit like me, but distinctly different.
Strangers that are a little smaller than me.
And aren't green and don't have teeth.
Tusks.
And talking a funny like. Great sentences.
Question 5. The course of true love never did run smooth.
Oh, I think we're gonna get 0 this round. just like instinctively, I
problem
think I'm
is
gonna do
when
that
it comes
badly.
down to it's a case of trying to distinctly remember which one it's from, and I'm currently going by more roughly could fit into this one.
Drew, line 4 was, all that glisters is not gold. All that glisters is not gold.
Is he saying blisters?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, when it comes down to I know that there was a line which was written exactly like that, and it isn't glistens, it's glitters. Glitters.
Put us out of our pain, John. Okay, fine.
Question,
Put me out of my pain.
question 6. To thine own self be true.
Oh. Oh no.
I'm really wondering what quote Sir Drubels is expecting or hoping for.
Can you repeat the quote again, please?
To thine own self be true.
Maybe.
Now I'm just throwing out titles. 'Cause I don't...
Yes, Rebels.
No.
Hello.
That's the quote.
Wait, the quote is now?
That's the quote Sir Drubels is waiting on.
Now is the quote Sir Drubels is waiting for.
Yes, that is the quote that Sir Drubels is waiting for. The unforgettable line, the great unforgettable line. Now! Something, something,
Right.
something.
Oh, God, yeah. Well, technically, that quote would be more Red Dwarf.
Exit pursued by a bear?
Question 7.
I've got these all wrong, by the way.
Oh yeah, I know.
The fool doth think he is wise, but a wise man knows himself to be a fool. Drubels awards Ben a point.
Yeah.
Well, the audience riots. You're in Newcastle, I don't care if you riot.
I
Yeah.
care.
Okay,
The
fine,
audience
I'll give him a point.
Yeah.
I mean, I care about that too, but
Which do you care about more, the riot or the point?
the point.
That's right, Drew does know where I live.
What was the last quote again? Sorry.
The fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool. Senseless threats win again!
Yeah, one of my favorite threats against my cousin is, I know where you sleep.
Question...
That's also one of my favorite mechanisms that D&D should do, is the intelligence-based intimidation, where you just intimidate someone by knowing everything about them.
Question 8. Uneasy lies the head that wears the crown.
Oh.
I am doomed.
Well, that could be that. Right.
Oh, that's a Dad's Army quote, isn't it?
I don't know, you have to ask my grandfather.
We don't have the stream up, so we don't know what people are saying, so...
Oh no, that was just Rogue.
I'm doomed.
Also,
We're doomed!
also, apparently, Ben, a lot of your clips are being shared on our
Yeah,
Discord
I
right
noticed
now.
that.
Oh,
They're
That's when
clips.
you get everything meme.
They're clips from Ben's streams, so it's
Not actually from this.
not from
Okay.
tonight.
Apparently, I'm hilarious.
Who knew?
I'm glad someone loves you, Ben.
They only
Stands on a
remember
mission.
me when I epic fail.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Question 9. If you prick us, do we not bleed? If you tickle us, do we not laugh? If you poison us, do we not die? And if you wrong us, shall we not revenge?
Ooh.
If you prick us, do we not bleed? If you tickle us, do we not laugh? If you poison us, do we not die? And if you wrong us, shall we not revenge?
Oh, quite.
I'm just throwing out names of plays. That
Oh
we
yeah, I've
played.
got these all wrong. One.
There's only one that I think I might have gotten right.
Yeah, I think that's the same for me. Genuinely, Ben, I think you might not be choosing the next round.
We'll see.
We'll see how much Ben knows about Shakespeare plays as well.
As I say, I'm just roughly throwing them in where I think they fit. That is
Same.
not a good way to do things.
Yeah, but so am I.
Question 10. If music be the food of love, play on.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
If music be the food of love, play on.
Oh no, no, that's from another one and I can't remember its title.
Alright, I'm gonna leave those
I think
alone.
it's from another one.
I'm gonna leave those answers alone. I'm not gonna touch them. Because if I don't touch them and I don't look at them, I don't have to worry about them.
Oh, he didn't write that one. I know he brought one about another person that didn't. Maybe.
I'm just impressed
maybe
that I
that
know
one.
this many Shakespeare titles.
And I'll give you a bonus question 11.
Maybe that should be a bonus
Oh,
point
you
right at the end. Maybe that should be a very bonus point right to the end, as you just were saying. How many of these are actually? How many different actual titles you got?
I'll give you a bonus question at the end. What Shakespeare play is this one from? Now!
Yeah.
Something.
Have we done 10?
Yes, 10 was if music be the food of love, play on.
What was 9?
If you prick us, do we not bleed?
What was 8?
Uneasy lies the head that wears the crown.
What was 7?
The fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool.
What was 6?
To thine own self be true.
Okay, that's where I went wrong. That's got to be the one. What was 5?
The course of true love never did run smooth.
Okay, yeah, that's where I went wrong. So that one is 7. That one is 8.
There's a point of the like you hear these and they just sound like ye olde
They
pickup
sort of blend
lines.
together. Okay, so number 6. What was number 6 again?
To thine own self be true.
Oh, that could fit into pretty much all of them.
I like how Ben's redoing this round on speed mode.
A glass of Earl Grey while he talked about them.
And
Yeah,
question
but I on cards.
question 11 is now something.
Is the winter of our discontent?
I don't think that's Shakespeare, is it?
No, it's A Tale of Two Cities.
I can't believe I knew that.
Or was it the best of times, the worst of times? One of it. Good God.
No, I think the best of times, the worst of times is Shakespeare.
John, this quiz has emotionally destroyed me. Like my self-esteem is in
Let's
the
see how
floor.
well this goes.
Universe.
It was the best of times. It was the blurst of times. You stupid monkey. Simpsons don't get quoted often enough.
No, they don't.
No.
I don't know why in my head that sounds like it should be from The Good Place.
No, it's The Simpsons. Oh God, the guy who owns the power plant, Mr. Burns,
Mm.
has a room full of monkeys on typewriters.
You know, if you put 100 monkeys in front of 100 typewriters, one of them will eventually write a Shakespearean play.
Mhm.
That old adage, yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I've just looked up the Shakespeare quote with modern translation next to it. Anyway, question the first. Let's go with Angel Mama. Cowards die many times before their death. The valiant never taste of death but once.
I don't know. I put Othello.
Ben.
I put down Macbeth.
Rogue.
Henry V.
Angel.
I put Othello too, actually.
It was Julius Caesar.
Damn.
Oh no, I put that down three more times.
Ben. Be not afraid of greatness.
I put that down as Richard III.
Rogue.
Julius Caesar.
Angel.
Yeah, I put Caesar too. My bad.
Angel Mama.
I put Richard III.
That one is Twelfth Night.
Ah.
Oh, I didn't even
Oh,
think that.
that's what it was. I was trying to remember the one that I always mixed up with Othello.
All the world's a stage and all the men and women merely players. Rogue.
I've also put Julius Caesar down for this one.
Angel.
A Midsummer's Night's Dream?
Angel Mama.
That's the only one I thought I knew.
Macbeth.
Ben.
I also put down a Midsummer's Night's Dream.
That is As You Like It.
Oh, thank God for that. I changed that one from The Tempest.
All the
Wait, I
world's
thought that was a Marilyn Monroe film.
all the world's a stage and all the men and women merely players. It's part of a long speech about man and his many acts that he has within his life. All that glisters is not gold. Angel.
Henry VIII?
Angel Mama.
Put Macbeth down again for that one.
Ben.
King Lear.
Rogue.
I also put the Scottish play.
It's The Merchant of Venice. And yeah, the original Shakespearean is glissers. It means the same as glitters, but they had another word for glittering at the time.
Well, the other side of things, though, Shakespeare made up a lot of words himself anyway.
He did. I mean, didn't he aren't there a couple of names that didn't exist before Shakespeare?
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
A significant quantity of English words
Oh,
did
God.
not exist before Shakespeare made them up.
Which is my favourite part going through English in school, is just sort of saying, you can't make up words. Shakespeare did, and you're claiming he's one of the greatest English writers we've ever had.
and that's why he got away with it, because he's one of the greatest writers.
Angel, the course of true love never did run smooth.
Romeo and Juliet?
Angel Mama.
Romeo and Juliet?
Yes, that time. No, Ben.
I also put down Romeo and Juliet.
Rogue.
Taming of the Shrew.
All together now, Romeo and Juliet.
It's A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Oh!
Juliet and Romeo.
Not what that story is
Oh
about.
God!
It's not. Means I got another question wrong. No, further down.
That's such a with Juliet and Romeo.
Act 1, Scene 1. The course of true love never did run smooth of Midsummer Night's Dream. Angel Mama, to thine own self be true.
Hamlet.
Yes. That's a point! Yay!
I'm suddenly very glad I got a sympathy point.
Ben, the fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool.
The Tempest?
No. Rogue.
It's not right, but I put Hamlet.
You're right, it's not right. Angel.
That was mean.
Angel.
Henry VIII.
Angel Mama.
The Comedy of Errors.
That one is also As You Like It.
Oh no, they doubled up.
Rogue. Uneasy lies the head that wears the crown.
Richard III?
Angel.
Hamlet.
Angel Mama.
King Lear.
Ben.
King Lear.
Henry V, Part 2.
Oh.
Got the Henry part.
Angel, if you prick us, do we not bleed? If you tickle us, do we not laugh? If you poison us, do we not die? And if you wrong us, shall we not revenge?
Macbeth.
Angel Mama.
Othello.
Ben.
Hamlet.
Rogue.
I've put King Lear down, but I did want to just say Toy Story.
Yeah, it was his Toy Story. He wrote a play about toys that came to life. It was very ahead of its time. No,
Was it King Lear?
It's The Merchant of Venice.
Again.
And finally, Angel Mama, if music be the food of love, play on.
I put down Midsummer Night's Dream.
Ben.
Taming of the Shrew.
Rogue.
I also put Taming of the Shrew.
And Angel.
Much Ado About Nothing.
It is Twelfth Night.
Fuck.
And finally, now something.
I'm pretty sure that's in several Shakespeare plays.
I
will give the fuller quote then, if you wish.
I was going to say, when it comes down to that, now something. That is a trick question because there was never a Shakespeare quote because he never wrote now something. That is a Red Dwarf quote.
Now is the winter of our discontent, made glorious summer by his son of York, and all the clouds that lowered upon our house.
That's not Shakespeare.
Yes, it is.
That is.
And then you said, what's that from? And I said, A Tale of Two Cities. And they said, no, that's wrong because A Tale of Two Cities starts off with, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times.
What was the Shakespeare one?
It was Richard III.
Shakespeare.
Yep.
I
From the
didn't
fuller
know
quote, that was easy.
know what play.
But
What's the
that's not
play?
what I put from now.
Yeah, as Drew says, now is the summer of our discount tense.
I think he said Richard III.
Oh, okay.
It is Richard III, yes.
Yeah.
It is Richard, basically, if you want the modern translation, because I have the modern translation of that quote. It's, now all of my family's troubles have come to a glorious end, thanks to my brother, King Edward IV. All the clouds that threatened the York family have vanished and turned to sunshine. Now we wear the wreaths of victory on our heads. Which clearly I'm assuming from it doesn't last that long because things probably don't go that well. But anyway, let us get some final points. Did anybody get any points other than do I contain knowledge?
I got the sympathy point and Richard III at the end.
Okay.
Me so happy.
Rogue.
Oh boy.
I got none.
Angel Feather.
I got nil.
Do you contain knowledge?
1.
Well, I apparently put the 4 in the wrong place on your score there. You don't have 423 points.
I know, my daughter.
I need to come up with a tiebreaker question. I also need to work
That'll
out...
give me time to think up of something for next time.
God.
Need to work out what we do in case of tiebreaker questions in the future.
Yeah.
I'd say closest to question is probably going to do your best.
Yeah. Okay. Closest to the correct answer. How many windows are there on the Shard in London?
Oh, you son of a bitch. That's not my answer.
Okay,
Don't worry, we don't need to get it right.
I'll do
Oh,
do
God.
another one. I'll do another one. Angel Mama, tiebreaker question. How much does the strand cost? No, that's an English question. Let's not do that.
Did you have any throwaway Egyptian questions that you didn't ask?
Disney questions?
No.
Google tiebreaker pub quiz real quick. You'll
I
find the
have.
question.
That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to find one that's not just like an English question or ridiculous. Okay. Here we go. Random question. Or possibly my brother has one. I don't know. Drew, what is your tiebreaker question?
I thought I'd done better than none, to be fair.
Does Drew have one?
I think he's leading this team.
What's James
Oh
Bond's
my
favourite
God.
drink? I don't think that's a tiebreaker, because that's not like one that you can get closest to without going over. So I'm going to ask the question, Angel Mama, closest without going over, on average, how many Cocoa Pops are there in a standard 510-gram box of Kellogg's Cocoa Pops?
What you can't hear on the stream is the rapid scrambling of
running
both
up.
of them to chase the box of
I like
Cocoa
the
Pops
ladies
and
answer
start
there.
counting them.
There is at least 6, you are right there. No, just wait for that point where you're just going to hear a big rustling in a moment. It's 1, 2,
That would take a while.
So, Angel, how many Cocoa Pops are there in a Cocoa Pops box?
10,200?
And Angel Mama.
I'm going way lower. I'm going, I was going with about 2,530.
The correct answer, well, the winner of the pub quiz, therefore, is Angel. There are 16,500 Cocoa Pops in a standard 510-gram box of Cocoa Pops.
A lot of actual pops. They're inflated rice. It's a lot of air, so they're very light.
And if anybody was wondering, as we've discussed it a little bit, the Shard has 11,000 windows.
Oh, it would have been well.
Yeah, I would have been over. I was looking in the 15,000 range, so I would have been over.
Listen, James Bond's drink
Martini shaken, not shaken.
shaken, not stirred.
But basically, he's asking for a weak martini, but in a really pretentious way.
He is pretentious. He's got a license to kill. He can afford to be pretentious.
The actual part of that is interesting is the way that he orders it would have a lot of water at the top of the drink, so he can drink the drink with it appearing to not get drunk. But as Drew points out, that's the drink he orders when he's on the job. He actually likes whiskey.
Yeah. Yeah, basically, the martini shaken not stirred is so that he doesn't get drunk, but appears to drink.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, yeah, he actually likes whiskey, and doesn't he like the Vesper as well? Isn't that one of his... Yeah, in the books he drinks whiskey way more than... Anyway.
Well, you're already out of my league. I didn't read them. I just watched the movies.
I've not read the books myself, but my favourite description of a room from the books is it was a room-shaped room with furniture-shaped furniture.
I see somebody
Oh,
was
there is
hungover when they wrote that section of the book.
Which I think, like, it tells you a lot about what James Bond cares about in that room, which is nothing. There's nothing that stands out.
No naked lady? Good lord.
Yeah, I mean, what's the room even for without a naked lady in it?
Painted in gold, of course.
Shit,
He would have a field day if he ever
Yes.
went into the office. Of...
I did
And
know
then
that one
most
as well,
people-
Drew. Sir Drubel says, did you know that James Bond is not allowed to sleep naked?
Because he needs to be able to get up and go as soon as possible in case.
Because it canonically states in the books, earlier books, that he sleeps in a nightshirt.
Oh.
And so when who is it? Drew, who is it that's wrote the current ones? That's like the official author, or was the official author at the time for writing the new James Bond books. He wanted to write that James Bond sprang out of bed and did this action sequence
But
in the
naked?
Altogether because he reasoned that James Bond would sleep naked, and the Fleming estate said, well, no, he wears this. He took out that he sprang out of bed naked, but just didn't say what he was wearing, because saying that he was wearing... Anthony Horowitz, thank you very much. Didn't say what he was wearing, because saying that he was wearing a nightshirt... that's not cool and modern. Anyway, Ben, you as have unfortunately come in last. What would you like next month's quiz round to be?
I would like it
Square.
to be... What goes in the square hole? No.
Oh,
He said,
Oh.
I would like it to be on famous pop culture riddles.
Ooh, I like it.
Pop culture riddles?
the hell does he mean by that?
So pop culture is basically popular culture, and it's riddles. So you might the ones from Lord of the Rings, films, book. Basically, when it comes down to, they're not just random riddles off the internet. They're ones which would have been in a public medium of one kind or another. So, but more likely a popular culture. So a film, a movie, a book, a TV series.
So
But
he's talking about
within
the
it.
riddles that Gollum and
So would the question be like John gives us the riddle and then we have to answer the riddle, or John reads off the riddle and we have to guess what it's from?
That's probably going to be up to John.
it'll almost certainly be the latter now.
I'm not saying anything, and I'm leaving that up to your minds to fill in the gaps until we get to the next quiz.
these pop quizzes are at 40 points, and the fact that I broke 20 is a miracle.
Yeah, no,
So don't push it.
I'm just happy that I broke 10.
I kicked ass last month because I won. Because I got all those bonus points.
So next month, I've already written a round on Shakespeare's plays and his plays that got turned into films. So we'll have some more Shakespeare next month. Don't worry, you've got time to read up on Shakespeare and his plays and things. And I'll also have at least one of the ancient Egyptian mythology or Hitchcock films written up for next month, and I might look up some general knowledge because apparently people want to see that.
Rebels, the only reason we do that is because we came to a conclusion that giving it to the person who's won to decide around to give them their favor for the next time.
It just means that the person who wins it always wins it.
Yeah.
It was Jeff.
He was winning every.
That's why we changed it. But Jeff's no longer with us. So we can. Plus, I thought the idea was we rotated between the winners and the losers, so that it gave the people who actually answered questions something to strive toward, and those who couldn't answer questions a chance at striving towards something on the bad weeks.
We'll
It
see.
was,
But there you
it was
go.
basically
That
on
was
the lines of trying to make it so that everyone had a chance to carry it on forward, really, more than anything
pretty
else.
much.
I've just noticed.
Jeff was just kicking ass.
I've just
I'm-
noticed that I've got a round title down here of Jeopardy-style answers, so I might have to do that one soon.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
That does sound like fun.
I get to
I-
read you the answers, and you have to come up with a question.
Oh, I see what you
Fun.
mean, Rubels. Okay.
I'm honestly shocked. Like, I think someone needs to retotal mine and Ben's scores, because I'm pretty sure Ben had to have gone ahead of me in that last round.
Is that just because you don't want to go for the riddle round?
No, it's just because I didn't get any points and you got 2 points.
But I already gave him the bonus point that
Yeah.
the people in the stream called for, so he only got 1 point at the end. Anyway, that's all for this month. We'll see you again next month with more of this. The quiz, for anybody wondering, for April will be in April on the
Whoa.
15th of the month, because it is one of those weird months that starts very early in the month. Well, yeah, of course it
That's one
starts
of my-
very early in the month. It starts very Friday of the month. Well,
My dad's birthday.
Saturday. Saturday is the first day of the month, which is dragging everything through our lovely schedule up. So
Okay,
yes,
I can
I'm
humiliate
afraid-
myself on my father's birthday. That's good.
perfect.
I'm going to have to duck out right now because I've got work early tomorrow and I need to sort of jump out and get sleep.
That is
But
fair.
it has been an absolute pleasure playing with you all.
Good night, Ben.
Good night.
Speak with you soon.
Bye, Ben.
Bye,
Right, so-
And all that remains for me to do is say thank you guys in the chat so much for watching. If you aren't already, please do hit that follow button. It's a great way for you guys to know when we go live, a completely free way that you can support us on the channel. We are aiming to get to 350 followers by the time we go to MCM Comic Con at the end of May. We are about 10 or 11 people away from that, so we'd really appreciate it if you know anyone that isn't following us, if you could let them know that we're here, what we do, that we're cool, that'd be great. If you have Amazon Prime, you also get a free Twitch sub. We'd love it if you'd use it to support us, but you don't have to. Use it to support a streamer that you enjoy watching, because really that's the important bit, and just make sure Jeff Bezos doesn't get that money. Because you're spending it and you should use it. We also have a YouTube channel where all of our replays go. If you head over there, hit the subscribe and ding the little bell, you'll get notifications when we put those videos live. And we have a Discord where you can join us to chat about the quiz. You can chat about other things, such as the streams that Ben does on Ben's channel, when Ben does Ben things.
Or setting time.
Because there are a lot of clips that have just gone into the clip spam of Ben doing things, and also apparently the pronunciation of Gagambakuk, which I think I did a perfectly good job every time. Definitely did it the same way every single time we tried to pronounce Gagambakuk.
What were your parents' scores on this quiz?
I don't actually work them out. I should remember them for this.
You know who won?
We don't really keep the scores on it for them.
You should. I think that'd be cute.
I'll try to remember that from next time. They also skip rounds like Disney. But
It'd still be cute to see, whether your mom or dad kick butt.
anyway,
No.
the Discord link is in the description of the stream, or it's underneath our YouTube videos, or it's on our website, which is www.finalbossfight.co.uk, where you can go to find all of the streams we do, profiles of all of us, and events that we're going to, such as MCM Comic Con at the end of May, where we will have stickers, and we will have a roller banner that just arrived today that I need to go and open and make sure is okay after the stream.
Mm-hmm.
and other fun things like Angel selling stuff and Conflux Leather selling things and Ben selling pyrographied things and all this good stuff. Hopefully we'll have more details on all of that very soon. But if you're going to be at MCM in London, do come and say hi. They have just passed 25 tickets. 25% of tickets for the weekend left. So if you want to get your weekend ticket, get it soon. But anyway, that is all of the outro-y bit that I need to speak about. I'm going to go over to this stream where I can say that these are the streams that we've got coming up. Tomorrow night, over on our channel, or here, we've got Rime of the Frost Maiden, where the group are dealing with both the deaths of several of their friends and subsequent return of several of their friends, as well as a creature lumbering out of the darkness with eyes and mouth glowing brightly. On Monday, Angel will be over on the Angel Games Player channel yelling at Genshin monsters, and then a little bit later on Monday night, myself and several of the others are playing Spelljammer Academy, this episode entitled Realm Space Sortie. On Tuesday, Jeff is doing another Brindlewood Bay. Dead Man's Foot, I believe, is the title of this one. Wednesday, I don't think we're going to have a... we're not going to have a midweek Minecraft this week. I'm working on getting a new mod pack installed on the server. I'm working out what we're going to do with that. But on Thursday, Angel will be on doing more Genshin Impact. And then we'll be back on Sunday next week with more Dungeon of the Mad Mage. That is a week and a bit of content from us. We're going to do a raid now. Who are we going to raid? Rogue, do you have anybody live on Twitch that we can raid into?
No one that I know. There's Mooncat Music, but that's possibly a very different vibe to the stream. So no.
I'm gonna go and pick at random, I guess. Can we get a... I'm just going to pick at random. We're going to send a raid at Purple Plague Gaming, who is doing D&D right now. We'll see you guys again tomorrow for our own D&D. Go give Purple Plague some love. We'll see you guys again real soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.